guys' show. So again, me and Corey's going to jump out. And thank you guys for coming. Thank you everybody in the chat for coming. We won't be hitting the chat because we're going to be listening to these guys, but we hope you brought some coffee because it's going to be a good one. So again, me and Corey will be back in about an hour. You guys, thank you again, and like to hear what you guys got going on.
For sure.
All right. What's up, Twin Empire? First of all, I want to shout you out on your beard game, brother. I don't know what you putting on in that thing.
Hey, man,
like they said, berries and juice. What you got going? I ain't got it.
You
like
know, as
that.
the good book says, you know, it's like that beard, that oil that ran from Aaron's beard. You know what I'm saying?
So the skirts of his garment.
I got that old school. You know what I'm saying? That joker that been out here in the olive tree. You know, that oil that was hard pressed over time. And so that's the type of beard oil I got going on that helps the maturity and the thickness and the fullness of it grow to what you guys see today. So this is how I done came through, man, and got this wonderful beard that God so blessed me with. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Amen. I like it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Where you originally from?
Oh, man. First and foremost, representative of the dirty South, baby, Mississippi, born and raised, you know what I'm saying? 601 all day, every day. 3 times on Sunday where I come from, you know, I'm talking about Bible Belt of the United States of America.
Sunday school, church service. Y'all come on back, get something to eat, getting some more. Amen.
Take a quick nap, you know what I'm saying? Get back up, go back to church again at 6 o'clock, maybe leave out at 9:30. But if the man get on the organ properly, you might be there all night, you know what I'm saying?
So how it works.
Bring a blankie. What it do, everybody in the chat, man? What's up, Sadiq Charles? What up, 187? What up, Ty? I see you guys up there filling in early in the morning.
What it is, baby, Miss Tony Cope, the half of the Cope faction, I should call it, boy. They are pressed together and they be making it happen. Shout out to you. Crazy Juice in the Hizzle. And did I say Bebop? Bebop was out here. It was Bebop Jones. There go my man. Bebop. See you, baby. I see everybody. What's up? What's up?
I see y'all here. My boy, look. Hey, they up early in the morning, I see.
Man, yeah, they having that coffee. They putting a little cream in that thing.
Hey, so I got a brother, boy. Look, he wake up in the morning, he drink that joker midnight black, like Wesley Snipes before taxes black. Boy, he come in that joker, drink that coffee. Burnt black, baby. I say, okay. So eventually I kind of grew into the black coffee, you know what I mean? It kind of took away all the little sweetness out of it. But
yeah.
Woo! It'll wake you up in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It gives you a joke. That's how we did it. I was in the Army a number of years, man. And, you know, we ain't have all the niceties like Starbucks. So you'd just make it happy. He was like a cowboy out there with some coffee and some hard tack. Call it MRE.
Hey, look, you know, nowadays they don't drink coffee. They drink sugar with a little. They drink sugar with a little bit of beans in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just sprinkle a little coffee in my sugar and in my latte.
Look, they turn Salt Bay do like this right here with the salt. That's how they do with the coffee beans. Just a little grind. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Little grind for your mind. You know what I'm talking about?
There it is.
But yeah, I know you asked me though. I'm born and raised, man. I'm from Mississippi, man. A place called Natchez, man. So that's what your boy is from out there in the South.
Okay. How far is that away from Crawford, Mississippi? And you probably know why I like Crawford, Mississippi a lot.
Honestly, we don't know too much about Crawford now. I ain't heard too much of it. We got 87 little cities in there in Mississippi. I'm not too familiar with Crawford.
So Crawford, Mississippi is where a young man was born October 15th, 1962.
Oh, hold on. Never mind. I know what you're talking about now.
Jerry
I was about to say,
Rice.
I thought about it. Hold on. Wait a minute.
I love Mississippi has given a lot to football, whether it is Air McNair, whether it is Walter Payton and the great Jerry Rice. Y'all got y'all own wing in the Hall of Fame, the state of Mississippi. So shout out there. I'm a Virginia man myself, but I know where the pockets of talent lie around the United States.
Before folks start coming through, picking and pulling some of the talent, that's where they used to sit there and grow from, you know what I mean? Whether it was Grambling, Alcorn, Southern, you know what I'm saying? Like you got a lot of these HBCUs they produced a lot of these wonderful quarterbacks. I went to Jackson State University, so Walter Payton, Jimmy Smith was there, you know what I mean? Like some of these guys who were great You know, we ain't talking about some people who just journeymen. We talking about some of the GOATs out there. Legends. So yeah, man, I love to tell people about even Jerry Rice, like you say, man, coming down south. People forget that, you know, not knowing that he didn't go to a major school like a lot of these people like to talk about nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And thank God for Jerry doing what he did, being the pioneer and the trailblazer. He even got a wonderful award for those individuals who do kind of good in the not so Power 5 schools. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
pick up to Jerry Rice out there representing, you know.
And rest in power, Walter Payton, who was an ultimate football player. Sweetness could do it. Nobody did it better than Sweetness when it was getting down, man. I'm an old cat. I remember when we go out and play football, dudes would always say, "Oh, I'm Sweetness. I'm Sweetness. Hey, look how I do this. Yeah, you see my step on. You see my step on. That's my Walter Payton right there. Yeah, man. I love Sweetness. And Alcorn State.
Alcorn. Woo, I can tell you ain't from the South. It's you gotta say Alcorn now. If you gonna say about
Alcorn, how y'all do it. Respect.
No, how you say always is Alcorn, always, baby.
Man, Ed McNair was putting up numbers, man, that you know, and we were in school at the same time as at Virginia Union up in Richmond, and I was playing for the Panthers, and we would see, good Lord, was there an offense out there?
For sure.
Ed McNair was the truth, man. He was the truth.
Big ups to Steve McNair, man. I got a lot of family. My mother, I got 2 brothers who graduated from Alcorn State University, man. So big ups to Steve McNair. My brother was in school when Steve was out there playing. Big up to Donald Driver as well. The wonderful wide receiver that drafted to the Green Bay Packers, who made a wonderful imprint in National Football League as well, man. So I love it when these smaller schools go out here and produce some of the best players we've ever seen, man. So, big up to Steve McNair. Like you said, rest in power, because, hey, everybody remember that year he went toe-to-toe with the great Peyton Manning, you know, and one of the only times that we had a co-MVP, you know, that year.
Yeah, you caught that? Yeah, they had to do a co-MVP, but truth be told, that should have been all airs
well, you know, I ain't gonna say nothing about that, but you know, this can go to another conversation. But we go try. You already know how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is. We may touch on some things. All right. Well, they've been getting us together, man. And I'll let you have the floor in reference to I think you are a big Trey Lance proponent. You want Trey in this piece. You want Trey to start and run the team. Am I correct in my presumptions? Or
well, I'm a realist, you know what I mean? Okay. And so I know it. I understand what happened at the end of the year. You know what I mean? I get why everything is set up the way it is. I understand why people desire Brock Purdy. I get it. My thing was always that, like, I'm coming from the perspective, let's not act as if this is a normal situation. Let's not act as if these roles and how these things came to be was normal for any other quarterback in this position, especially when not only are you being drafted at the position, but what was given up for this quarterback and how things have panned out. And for me, my thing was that ever since my guy got here, most quarterbacks get their arms wrapped around them. And I'm not saying that you got to go out there and you get coddled. But when I mean somebody come in and get drafted, you kind of can feel yourself being ingratiated into the community, into the media, into the fan base. Like you can feel like, okay, I'm wanted. You know what I mean? Everybody who has kids or everybody who grew up with parents, you always like to feel wanted, that you're valuable. And I think ever since the man was drafted, there's always been this kind of like question mark. I remember back in the day, grew up with this little storybook called like The Ugly Duckling. Like you always do, why folks looking at me weird? Like, what did I do to you? You know what I mean? And there was always this this era of conversation of more so of what can't be compared to what could be. And that situation wasn't reigning true for everybody else. Everybody else has this perception of what could be. I see these things that I can extract from you and that we can cultivate and grow it to be something better. But in this situation, there was always something where, hey, every little minute thing that we can say that's negative, we pulled it out and we plastered it on a consistent basis, whether it was media, whispers coming out of the front office, or even out there, the 3-letter network or the 4-letter network. They always had like this negative perception about them. So that was my starting out was one of my biggest things, like prior to even Brock Purdy even getting there. So my genesis about this situation is before Brock, you know what I mean? And I think people begin to mix that in as if there's something I feel that's that I have a gripe with Brock Purdy, you know what I mean? And that's not my case. You know, it's not that I hate Brock Purdy or I don't see what he has done. Being a person that loved football for as long as I've loved football, yeah, I get it. I'm not naive to the point of what he has done, but I do like to put context and the nuances into it, because with anything, you know, that what matters more than what meets the eye. So yes, sir.
Yeah, you 100 on that. I gotta shout out my man Eric Crocker. I'm on his show a lot, man. He gives me his platform a great deal. And I said something one night, man, and they hit the pause button on me big. But it's a political term. Back, I used to watch The West Wing, one of my favorite shows of all time. The West Wing.
The West Wing.
And they would say, I want a full-throated endorsement of my ideas right now. And everybody knew what that was. That was you were yelling at the top of your lungs. This is my guy. Don't touch him. Don't come near him. This is my idea. This is my principle. This is me unmistakably. And I said that about Brock Purdy. I said that about Trey Lance back in the day. You see it. You saw it in Buffalo when Josh Allen arrived. Everybody knew, hey, this the dude here. Look, we're gonna build him up. Everybody knew in Philly. Everybody knew in Houston when Deshaun showed up. When that first round quarterback comes in, you need to make it unmistakably clear. We're not messing around with nothing else. We're pouring into this young man. Y'all better either hump it or pump it, as we used to say.
Sir.
Get on up out of here. This is what it is. And I really feel like we didn't do that. So you're like, where's my bail at? You spot on with that. You spot on in terms of it was the rumor, I don't know if it's rumor, fact. I'm sure somebody in the chat can tell me that was the thing with Colin Cowherd's daughter. When we initially drafted him, Colin Cowherd was drinking some of that Henny or something. He was feeling real good. Oh my God, the 49ers have got somebody wonderful. He's a good guy. He's wonderful, a big arm and all that. And then I think their relationship turned a little bit.
He comes from he even came from good stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He comes from a good stock, a family guy, small town in Minnesota. Like we could see his growth and maturation as a young man and what he's done in the community. Like there were so many. Like I said, it was effortless when somebody was talking about him in a manner where you're like, okay, I can see you, a young boy. You want to make sure you begin to speak life into him and not death. And so I appreciate that. But as you said, there was a turn of the table real quick. You know what I mean?
It turned real quick. I was hearing like Mike Silver and a couple of them just saying stuff like, oh, well, yeah, he can't really throw that good. And it would just take shape and form of itself because we knew we were going to move on from Jimmy. Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Knew you go up, you trade up and give up 2 draft choices. Oh, bro, the writing's on the wall. You're now the bridge guy. You need to be handing these reins over. You're no longer driving Dad's Ferrari. The teenagers got it now, buddy. It's time. It's time. Yeah. So everybody should have came on board and knew what it was. And
not only that, we got this is our franchise. And this is why I always like to go back to, man. This is the San Francisco 49ers. We're not talking about the Cleveland Browns. We're not talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're not talking about some of these teams that aren't prominent football. Like this is a staple. This is a top 5 franchise of the brand, of the shield. This is a franchise that has 2 quarterbacks. When you go through the list of top 100 players, they have 2 quarterbacks in the top 20. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, people, in my opinion, I'm like, So there's this nostalgia that goes along with when you say the quarterbacks of the San Francisco 49ers, but then also, like I said, there's this standard or there's this familiarity that a lot of fans and also media and also just the Bay Area itself has for this team. And so my thing is like, dog, this is not the team to want to like sit around here and play like you don't want to go forth with this quarterback. Like when you the 49ers, you have a first round draft pick and you move up. It's kind of giving people a perception like, oh, we really about to do something. We're really about to go forth and try to put an anchor on this next maybe 10 to 15 years as far as this guy's going to be our quarterback. That's what I was thinking because we had this something like with Kyle Shanahan. Let's be real. Ever since Kyle got here, I like to use the analogies because sometimes people in the football world don't want to be real. They want to be really like, oh, football is like, no, it's like a man. If you are a man and you got one eye over here and then every little thing that go by, you always doing like this.
Yeah.
That was Kyle Shanahan. Ever since he got here, even when he had Jimmy, he still was looking like this. Once he had Jimmy for a year or two, he still was doing this. You know what I mean? So he was never solidified or also secure in what he had. You know what I mean? And even though we were winning, and people, like you say, they like to bring up, hey, man, we was winning. I think we like 20-4 when Jimmy Garoppolo don't throw an interception. And so these are things that had happened. You know what I mean? These are things that people saw. We made it to the Super Bowl in 2019. We saw we started to win. So people were wrapping their arms around this team once again because of the couple years we had with them coaches we ain't gonna talk about. But just say they went that hot. You know what I mean?
Tom Sula.
You got a chip on your shoulder. You know what I mean? Shout out to Kelly. You know what I mean? Just playing. But like these are the things that people were going through. And so when you saw Jimmy G come in, and let's be real, if you want to say, you grew up seeing this one guy, he's a movie actor, he's a star. His name, what's the guy name? Not Brad Pitt, but the other George Clooney. George Clooney. Like you knew how it was. Look,
look the part.
The part. You know what I mean?
They say straight out of Central Casting. He came with that coiffed hair and the jacket over his and the jaw and everything. Everybody's like, well, that looked like a quarterback. That looked like
hey, remember back in the day,
we cast the Brian song. Yeah. When he smiled and go, ding! Yeah, it looked like that. But dude, when he threw them interceptions, boy, in red zone or pivotal right over the middle to Bobby Wagner got about I don't know how, man. Bobby Wagner got a Hall of Fame career on.
Look, now you do the Hall of Fame career and they show you highlights. Oh, Jimmy G definitely
is gonna be in.
Hey, you know how they say it's a shot on Elo? Like they say, Jordan pull up.
Everybody
know Craig Elo is.
You the one that got shot over, bro. Yeah. He's the Craig Elo to Bobby Wagner.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I bet you right now, every Christmas, Jimmy Garoppolo get birthday cards with Bobby Wagner family underneath the Christmas tree with the stockings behind them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here you go, Jimmy.
Thanks for the gifts, Jimmy.
Hey, I thought Santa was a willful and cheerful giver, but boy, I tell you,
he was a cheerful giver. He just gave that pressed down, shaking together, and running over. He gave them away like the red hot chili peppers. And man, he should have known it was time. It is what it is, and the team should have indoctrinated themselves a lot more. The community, the press, whatever. Hey, this is where we're moving to. But I think Kyle just took his cues off of a nucleus of our team, our contingent that says, hey, we would rather have dude, let's keep dude.
And as great as a coach, offensive coordinator Kyle is, this man, being a savant of football, you understand that the coach is the coach, though. And you can tell that there's been areas of Kyle coaching tree since he was an OC or whether he was a wide receiver coach. You can see the thread where when it comes to really tough situations, he buckles a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I love Kyle, but there's certain parts of certain, like, regular season, he's okay. But then when you go to the postseason, he starts to regress a little bit, or he kind of get a little shaky. You know what I mean?
He can't dance live. He can't dance live. He remember the movie Drumline? Rich, everybody love Drumline. If y'all ain't seen Drumline, I'm about to throw some spoilers in there. But Nick Cannon plays a guy, man. He's going for that number one chair, and Nick Cannon can't even read music, but he can dance in the middle of any situation because things will just slow, and he could just pick it up. Kyle is a music reader, and as long as his music is there and it's going according to his plan and everything is fine, good. But in pivotal moments, in pocket moments, when you're gonna have to, man, you're gonna have to pull them on up, and we're gonna have to make some decisions, and we're gonna have to play those odds real good. And that time is ticking. I need a play. I need a play. Get it down here right now. Get it here now. Kyle might say, okay, let's you done took my music away from me. And I can't dance live. I can't
improvise, you know what I'm saying? You can't improv, you know. And that doesn't mean people hate. That's the first thing I gotta tell people. That doesn't mean you hate Kyle Shanahan, man. No.
Just I made this identification on him. I've made this critique on. This is what I see.
Yeah. And in order for us, and this is what I tell people as well, like I love the 49ers. So many of those individuals out there know I have a brother who's a Dallas Cowgirl fan, unfortunately. And he's a diehard, you know what I'm saying? Big up to my brother. If y'all have any time, follow Law Nation on YouTube, your Instagram, so on and so forth. Get him to 150,000 subscribers, man. We're trying to push him up to the moon. But anyway, like, we know there's football, but then I have to understand what are these other teams are going to do when we go higher and higher and higher into the realms of what the great football. Like, we got to make sure that these small things have to get worked out, because you may win against some of these lower level talents. But one thing I tell Kyle, well, I think I've been wanting to tell Kyle, like, hey, bro, I gotta trust you. Like, you have a son, I believe I heard you say one day, you like, hey, there comes a time where you gotta say, you know what? I have to trust what I put in him. I have to trust the seeds that I sown. I have to trust, as you know, go in scripture. I gotta trust that God gonna give the increase. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? I may put the seed, but he gonna do the rest. So as Kyle, I think he has to grow and to mature in that area as a coach to say, you know what? I think I've done what I could do. Now it's time for me to give this to this young fella and let him do the rest. And that's okay. You know what I mean? That's not a knock on you. That is what the greats do. That is what Bill Belichick do. That is what Andy Reid has done.
Yes.
That is what we talk about Bill Walsh. Like, that is what he did. And Seifert, like, these guys had the ability to say, you know what? I'm going to let you cook. You know what I mean? I know I got you here. Drew Brees, another guy. Like, I see what you've done. I know Sean Payton was calling up and dialing up plays, but then Sean Payton said, hey, Drew, be Drew. You know what I mean? Get us over the mountain. Get us over the mountaintop.
That's all you can ask, because you cannot play the game vicariously through, you know, your guy. And a lot of times Kyle's just wanted a robot, a guy to just do it exactly like I said. Don't mess it up. I know where everybody's up. I can play quarterback. It gets to a level of what you call hubris. Hubris is thinking you know so much that, you know, I just simply got it. I got it. But that's not how it works. That's not how the rhythm of life works. That's not how the cycle of life works. That's not how the pattern of life needs to work. Sometimes it gets to, I have taken this person. I have taken you as far as I can take you as a guru. Now you've got to dance. Now you've got to shine. I can put the structure together. I can write it all down for you. I can put it in a book. And you can spend time with me all you want. But man, when it's 2 minutes left in that fourth quarter game and we down by 3, I need you to dance. I need you to get these first downs. I need you to move it. I need you to do this. I can't do it for you. I simply can't. And Kyle, that.
And again, that's not a knock on Kyle, but this is like when you go against the top of the top, when you see the Patrick Mahomes, like, the dude got a natural ability that if you hear his tape, if you hear what Andy Reid was saying prior in the off season, or even him and Travis Kelce talk, hey man, I go out script sometimes. He said, look, I do some stuff. Andy Reid be looking at me. He said, I look back at Andy and say, hey, I gave it a go. I tried it. And Andy be like, I guess, because he know that there's a certain extent that he outcoaches the playbook. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, he goes above and beyond what the playbook can do. And so will there be mistakes sometimes? Yes. But you know that this is when the defensive coordinators are standing up all night long. Your Mike linebacker stand up all night long. You got the nose stand up. They're talking. They're trying to devise this scheme against the 49ers. So they put in all the manpower. So they're trying to say, we just do this perfect. We go stop them. And then that's when you got to have someone on the other side say, you know what? Even if they do this perfect.
You came off 100% correct. But the factor you didn't put in there was a little shake, a little rattle, a little roll. And twin, this is why I'm looking at Brock Purdy the way I do. This kid, those defenses were dialing it up against this young man. And I go back and look at the film, and I look at others who look at the film again and again. This young man was dancing in the middle of, he won't suppose the Miami Dolphins that day when he got in, they ran something called zero chain or zero thunder blitz. That means we're leaving the back open. We're going man to man with these three back here, and we're putting everybody on the line.
Yeah,
we're gonna overload your slide protection. Somebody gonna be free, and they're gonna take your boy head off. And we just knocked your boy out the game last time. They were poised to do that again. The defensive coordinator of Miami was a guy named Boyer, who had been with New England. New England branded this because they throw the kitchen sink at rookie quarterbacks. It was a time, and you might remember, New England didn't lose to a rookie quarterback for, I think it was 10 years.
Yeah, I think it
was a house of horrors when you went to New England and Bill Belichick would dial it up on a rookie quarterback because he would just throw exotic things at you. And man, when we go back and look at that film again, man, Brock Purdy looked at it, identified his hot, checked out of it, gave some wiggle to number 8, that safety coming off unguarded, and was throwing strikes. I said, oh my Lord. Oh, hold on. We
now look, now Terry Don. Hey, now Terry Don, if he would have kept that same energy on that play he got hurt in, we'll probably have another talk about, because at the same point we say what you just said, his natural ability where he saw the zero bits come in. Now we seen, if you look at any tape of the Philadelphia Eagles, they have not been playing on any motion throughout the whole goddamn playoff. Anytime you motion a wide receiver or running back, guess what they did? They stayed home because they say, look, all of this is fake window dressing. So we orbiting around and we moving people. They told them boys, listen here, god dog it, we playing football today. All that other pretty stuff. Listen here, hat on the hat, man on man. Don't move no muscle. You stay where you need to be. I remember Brian Baldinger was talking about this in the film. He said, look at this. These boys ain't trying to. Debo ran. He said, ain't nobody moving muscle.
Yeah,
if you gonna get it,
look at Debo.
Look at it. They told the edges, do what you've been doing the whole year. Play scot-free. And guess what? That same thing, like what you just said that you saw, I'm looking when he stepped back on that play. And I saw Brandon Ayuk had that man, he was cooked.
He was cooked, and he was loading up, and he was going to him. That was 6 on the board. It was 6. But
he should have been loading though, because if you saw that man when he was on the outside of Brandon was running to the seams. He had already lost his leverage because he was leaning. Brock and BA know the play. The one thing they always tell you in football is this: I know the play, you don't.
Yeah,
I know the route, you don't.
Offense has an advantage. We know where you're going, and you don't.
And then you already see the play as well. There's nothing in the quadrant. That left quadrant is
he was throwing that 7 route
wide open.
He was going.
It's not like he had to watch it where there's a safety. There wasn't nobody underneath zone underneath there or nothing. It was wide open. So you didn't have to wait till the dude got wide open because he was trying to throw him. He didn't want to throw it till he was wide open. But you saw he had him already. The ball should have been released, and then you throw to a point. Because as people like to say, one of the guys say he is a great anticipatory thrower of the ball, right? Yeah. So that would have been the perfect opportunity, knowing that you are dealing with a team with some monsters. You got like a young, and so in my opinion, I'm looking like, bro.
And I'll push back right here because he had it all set, but the guy who was supposed to lay that block on Hassan Riddick, I don't know what happened to him. He just got whooped, but he's out of here now.
But you can look at that play. If Cup can pull it up, he had the ball. He could have threw the ball before the Riddick even got loose, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he had an opportunity to throw the ball prior, not only to that, and he could have stepped up in the pocket if he really wanted to. But all I'm saying is
he had some stuff in front of him, but if we're gonna isolate it all on a single play where there was a split second with 7 minutes left in the quarter, and number 7 hit him on a 7 route on the 29th, 9 - 2 was 7. For all of those things to happen, it's the equivalent of dropping a dart on a deck of Swiss cheese and just happen to hit all the way through every hole and portal. I don't have the answers. The football guys that day said that we're not going to let the NFL and indict the NFL, the scouting, and everybody else. Let this rookie go to the Super Bowl.
It was empty, though, my G. It was empty.
Do it because it would be an indictment on everybody who's ever scouted this game that the Mr. Irrelevant last pick is going in here and going in here strong.
Hey, he could do that ball, though.
And it shouldn't have even been there because Philly, the series before, has a 4th down where there's a catch that isn't really a catch. They don't run back there.
But whose fault is that, though? Because again, watch this. Check. Hold on, wait. We watched it. We love football, right?
Yeah.
What school did that young boy play for? That wide receiver. Let's talk about it. What school did that young boy play for? That wide receiver, the Heisman winner.
University of Alabama.
All right, my boy's a Southern boy like your boy Twin. One thing you know about that boy, Devonte Smith, if you watch his game through Alabama and when he came to the Eagles, he has one of the most cool, calm, and collected dispositions you will ever see. That boy walk around like don't nothing bother him. Similar to how Marvin Harrison used to walk around. He just go about doing his business. He's not extra. He's not blovian. He just be doing his thing. Now it's 4th down, my guy. That boy, you saw the ball throw.
Mm-hmm.
Body language expert alone. That boy popped up off the ground
and say, hurry up.
Now, look, if you've been watching film all day, every day, twice on Sundays for 48 hours straight, know that ain't his character.
Yeah.
That's not his personality. Just if you're just looking at the game alone, you're like, wait a minute, Devonte Smith, he's demonstrative.
And I saw Hufanga.
Hufanga
went, no, that ain't that.
No. So
somebody got to throw that challenge flag.
Please. Hey, listen here. So if my coach over here trying to dial up plays about what he about to do because he automatically think we finna get this turnover on downs, to me, I'm like, bro, you're not watching one of the most. I mean, this is the first quarter of the NFC Championship game. We know that the Philadelphia Eagles is a team that start off fast. They were known for having one of the top teams of scoring points in the first quarter, and you know that they're playing at FedEx. I mean, come on now, they're playing at that crazy stadium. You need at the Central League, like, bro, you need to be dialed in and focused, especially if your defense was sitting there doing what they've been doing, holding it down. You see what I'm saying? As an offensive coordinator,
when I saw Kurt Warner, when I saw Fred Warner go down that first series, I was like, "Oh, we in a physical one out here."
So we can't be sitting here thinking, "Oh, the 3rd quarter, the 4th." No, bro, anything can happen, as we saw shortly after.
Go back to what I said initially about drumline. Some of us can't dance in them.
Can you boogie when you need to boogie? You know what I'm saying?
You got to boogie when it's time to boogie now.
Hey, everybody saw that.
I noticed.
Hey, Terry, you know how we watch? I love basketball too. You know when they do the Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson doing the 1990s playoff where he go in if I do this and he switch over.
Oh,
so you know the improv.
I'm a Laker, but yes.
So you know what I mean. You know what I mean. He then he switched it around and go to the left. Like you gotta in those type of moments, you gotta do something that's outside of yourself, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
He broke my heart that day, boy.
Kyle Shanahan broke my heart that first quarter because I said Stevie Wonder could have gave Ray Charles his eyes and he could have saw it. He would have seen that guy, dog it.
Stevie could have gave Ray Charles his eyes.
And he could have saw that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I sure wish God would have, man.
Oh God.
And then we would have had the ball. I think we would have had it. I know in their territory. I don't remember exactly
the yard line. It was around like the 40 because they threw it. He was right around the 40-ish, 35 in the yard line because he threw the ball almost when he threw it, they were in the red zone. And you know, they was a great red zone team, you know, because of the ability of Jalen Hurts and his running ability. And then they had like
that
AJ,
offensive line that just
come on, man.
Just grind and, you know.
So I
want a menacing offensive line like that, but you know, we'll get there. You know, when we had that third round, but I would have liked the kid out of Ohio State. I need a tackle, but I'm just saying
we too cocky though. Like I say, we hey, we know how they tell you follow the money. You see where all our money is. You see where all the coin is.
Oh, he went to all the President's Men, a great movie. Follow the money. Follow the money.
And where's all our money at when it comes to the line?
It's in the defensive line and it's David Ruffin and the Temptations.
And look, we 49ers fan was out here at the end of the movie talking like this. Nights like this, I wish rain would fall. That was us. We all over here like, oh God.
Came in that old suit. I still got it. Let me join up. You can't beat me. we done joined the Temptations and the 5 Heartbeat all in.
I had to mix them together, but I mean, because one, it's kind of like it's like a spoof almost. Well,
yeah,
man, spoof, but like
that one hurt. That one hurt. We still ain't over that. We ain't gonna get. I don't think we gonna exercise. Even if we win, and we will win regular season next year. We still ain't. We ain't did nothing until we get that NFC Championship and beat them again and send them home packing. That's and
you know why?
The only thing that's gonna exercise that demon.
You know why though, Tara? Because fans of football had PTSD. Fans of football got hurt. Like you ain't even a 49er fan, but you just a football fan.
Yeah.
You watching the Eagles, the top number 1 team for most of the year. You see the 49ers, this story, 10 games in a row. They cover the spread. They coming in there. They already beat the Dallas Cowboys. Like, so you got these 2 guys, physical football. Everybody like you amped. You excited. You're like, oh my God, we better watch the football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, early though. I say early morning when I seek thee.
Early one Sunday morning.
Hey, early in the game. It was like,
man. I know.
Really?
I know.
Waited all year.
It was like the build up to a great heavyweight fight. And you seeing these Titans get ready to go in, and then it's a DQ in the first round because somebody's arm got hurt. And you know how much a big time fight costs to go and get that ringside seat. You out there near Jack Nicholson and Denzel Washington, everybody there to see this fight, and it's over in the first round. You're like, no, it's not. You know, you be like on Trading Places, turn those machines back on.
You be like, what in tarnation didn't happen? Why? Not us. This couldn't happen to us. And so that's what I mean. Like, we do have to beat them in the NFC Championship game because I think, like I said, everybody was soured on that, man. It left a bad taste. And it was just horrible, man. So, man, that's the thing that even if we do come back and get that W, man, that's just it's Kyle Shanahan, good guy. I appreciate what you do for the 49ers.
Wonderful play designer. He's a designer. I love the Speedo concept. I love the Yankee concept. I love the deep overs. I love how he manipulates with the running attack is incredible. That wide zone, split zone, gap zone, the duo, the doubles, and the trips on that, man. He's just doing some outstanding stuff. It's just, man, in the midst of it, sometimes you gotta dance. You can't just write the music and want it to be a wonderful concerto. If they take your music, can you go to that club like on the Green Book? Remember the Green Book? If you ever seen the movie The Green Book, I watch a lot of movies. Green Book, dude went to this honky tonk jump. It was, I think it might have been, no, it wasn't in Mississippi, it was in Georgia.
No, it was Georgia. I remember that it's a period piece though.
Yeah, he went there and tore up with that, a little liquor on the side of the piano, and he just started going off in that Juke joint. It was like Hoppos on Color Purple. Everybody was just jamming, man. He's a concert pianist. He's a wonder. He's a concerto. He's a virtuoso, but he can get down when it's time to get down, and he don't need no music. He know all your stuff. And he could get down to the nitty gritty with things and do. That's what we're missing here. We got a guy who can read music and come up with wonderful sonnets, concertos, and do all of these great things in an operatic setting where it's nice, stabilized, and sanitized. But hey, baby, we playing the dewdrop in tonight. Ain't no music.
Ain't no look. The power, now how back in the day where about harmony and you gotta go what acapella, you know what I mean? And you gotta go, you might just have to
the mic might not work all that good. Now
you get feedback.
I guess being a preacher sometimes I know what it is. It's different churches that have different stuff. When I change it up, when I'm with my European American brothers,
you gotta play some CMC. Some contemporary,
Yes, I go ahead and read it real like this. But when I go back home, you gotta cut a little loose. You gotta come on, somebody. You know what I'm talking. Neighbor. Yeah, turn to your neighbor. Say I feel it this morning.
I feel my helper, the Holy Ghost.
I'm preaching better than y'all. Amen.
I'll preach to myself today. It's just me and Jesus in here today, baby. But I'll preach to the neck in here if I got to.
Man, my theology guys at Virginia Union, we had guys come back, man, and they said when I went to I went to England, I was preaching, and I got a little worked up and stuff, and he said, my God, you don't have to yell, we have an excellent PA system.
We could just turn the volume just a little bit.
Yes, just give him a couple of more decibels, please. No, that's how.
That's how we go. That's how we hit that note. Look, when the help would come, you can't do nothing but to operate in how he wants you to operate. But again, we're just talking about when something takes over you in the game. And again, unfortunately, we saw Patrick Mahomes do this to us. And he done this to other folks too as well, So we did the Eagles. Like there's a certain level that great players, not only in football, but in sports in general, when that moment comes, I don't like Tom Brady, but I give him props where props is due because I'm objective enough that there's a certain poise, a certain coolness that he possesses in crunch time. You know what I mean? Same thing that why we love Kobe. There's a certain coolness. There's a certain understanding of my repetitions have prepared me for this moment that though it's a moment for others, this is practice for me. You see what I'm saying? And see, that's the player. No matter what your coach do on the sideline, you got to trust the player has done the work to go out there and perform when the lights are the brightest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's, to me personally, I believe because we have toggled back and forth, and I said this to you guys once before, I believe the football gods are shining down on us and saying, no, you're not going to have it your way. This is not BK. You're trying to do this differently than how I created this game to be, and I'm not letting you get off with that.
It was like that since inception, man. In 2017, the San Francisco 49ers ticket office called me. It was Kyle and John's first game. You know, I'm right here. I'm 60 miles away from Clemson University. So I've been watching Deshaun Watson since he was in Georgia. And we got the pick. You got Deshaun in that draft. You got Patrick Mahomes in that draft and everything. And I told that ticket office, I said, look, I will pick up those $6,000 season tickets. I don't even live in San Francisco, but I'll get it. But y'all have got to draft Deshaun Watson or a great quarterback. It starts with that. Don't come out here with no BS. And man, when they went out here and got Solomon, I told my wife might be looking now. She can, you know, if you wanted to see some real disappointment, you wanted to hear some things that the congregation does not want to hear. Boy, that day I said, we are going to be doomed for another 5 years at least. Yeah, that was big. You just watched this kid win a national championship and dismantle a Nick Saban defense and put 40 burgers on them 2 years in a row.
I'm about to say, not 1 year, man. Get it right. Because when somebody else did it against another team, they got picked first. But I ain't gonna say nothing, you know what I'm saying? But that's no I'm saying.
And we went out here and got Solomon. I'm like, oh, and then mess around, got Reuben Foster, who got the fighting with the doctors at the combine. No red flags, nothing telling y'all. This is a job interview, dude. You'll wear a white tee and get to fighting with the doctor at the combine.
Like, wait a like, look, what Kevin Hart said? Wait a minute, hold on, wait, whoa, what are we doing here?
Who raised you?
Apparently, you was out there with Tarzan because you got no home training. You don't understand what's going on.
Football requires a quarterback you believe in early. You got to set that. Don't wait on. Well, I think I'm going to get Kirk Cousins 1 year. Dude, no, man.
I mean, again, this is what I said. We going from Kirk. We went from Matthew, Tom Brady, like. We revisited the Deshaun before he was getting stretched out like a Pilates instructor, like, you know what I'm saying? We say
that again. Say that again. say that whole thing. Who was getting stretched out like a Pilates
like a Pilates instructor, boy. That man, he was getting. That man was he grew 3 inches, boy. I mean, hold on, wait a minute. Never mind. Let me not say that. He pause. Pause.
But either we pausing or we're now sponsored by Blue Chew.
Hey, is your vertical game off? Come see Alice today.
Come see Alice.
That's what we used to tell Jimmy Garoppolo went through across the middle. Like, bro, you need to go see Alice because you can't get it up, my guy. Come on, Wagner is right here. You gotta get it up, my guy.
Come on, man. Dang, Jimmy would just stare him down, man. Oh.
But back to what you said though with Deshaun Watson, though, like, bro, we had an opportunity early on, and then we had several more opportunities as well. And again, it's just like he wanted to be the puppeteer, you know what I'm saying? And he needed a little, and he was looking for his Pinocchio, you know what I mean? And he just wanted to do everything on his own. And it's like, Kyle, man, we love you. We see what you can do. But I think a thing we should have took into account, Matt Ryan, #1 draft pick, I think 8 years earlier. Oh, I think it was 2009. So this is 2016. So he's been in the league 7 to 8 years already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even he had to tell, hey, bro, listen here, man. Hey, I know you're smart. I know you are innovative. I see all these wonderful traits that you do have, but hey, my guy, listen here. I'm pretty decent myself, if I may say so myself. I've done pretty good so far in the league. You know what I mean?
Ain't no dummy. I'm Boston College here. You know, I got some coiffed hair myself. Let me and old Julio Jones do some things here, and you're gonna see. You'll like the results. Trust me, you'll like these results.
Exactly, and so that's my thing. And he didn't want to let him dance. And everybody like, man, we should have got Tom Brady. I'm like, bro, you know what type of man Tom Brady is, bro? He gonna look at Kyle like, man.
This is the thing with haters on Tom, and I absolutely adore Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady is the greatest one that ever did it. But that, you know, there's this in 1 Samuel the 16th chapter, it says, man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom Brady, if you could take off that outward appearance and that all shucks and that, you know, coiffed hair, whatever, and married to a supermodel, something, there lies a spirit of competitive nature. There is a 9-foot cyclops of competitor that is in that dude that I haven't seen since Michael Jeffrey Jordan and one Kobe Bryant. That's how I knew. And my wife is here right now. She probably don't want to go. She said, "You've been man crushing on that Tom Brady." I see the psycho in some people. I know that dog when I see it, and he just has a competitive nature about him, man. Just to the point that these people will. It came to his wife, and his wife said, "Look, it's Tom. It's football or us.
It's football, baby. Because you wouldn't be with me if it wasn't football.
You need to pack up your stuff."
Hey, I'm married to the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Take a hike, baby. Thank you for the memories.
And we used to call that, you gotta have a killer instinct. You know what I'm saying?
It's the
killer. It's like,
I will just, man.
And
I know that because when you play basketball with the young guy, and you're a young guy now, man, you gonna get there one of these days. I'm 53. When I'm playing with them young boys, man, I'm not taking the L. Yeah. I don't have your athleticism anymore. I don't have your explosion anymore. But I do have something you don't have. I'm coming, boy. You getting all this? Give me that, boy. Give me that. I know what I'm looking at when I see that dog.
Yeah.
And that's what he got in that dog. I know the dog. I know that, man. Some people would knock their mama over for the victory.
But see, he saw that, like my man Bebop just said, he saw the greatest to do it in Joe Matanya. You know what I'm saying? So he grew up watching what? Greatness. He grew up watching the gold standard. He saw at a young age this individual come in and do something to the league that they ain't never been done before. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that was embedded in him at a very, very young age, and it only grew with him as he grew older. And so you see a guy like, again, Kyle Shanahan, if you watch his coaching, he says, I want to do what? First and foremost, you know what this is, TOP. You know what TOP is? He wants to control that. He said, listen here, if I can hold the ball for 35, 40 minutes without scoring number one touchdown, he's happy. He's cool with that. But you got some people like, hey, God, dog it. If you give me 10 possessions, I'm scoring 10 touchdowns. I'm going to embarrass you.
Yes. I'm going to
run it
up.
If I can score in 4 plays, I'm about to score in 4 plays. I'm finna let you know, not only am I great, I'm going to show you the distance between the gulf between, as they say in the good book. I'm going to show you how far we are. We are as far as the east is from the west. Look, listen here. You going to know this. So whenever you see me, there's going to be a fear. Yeah. Not only of the sport that we play, but of the mentality that I have when I play you.
Yeah.
So you got to realize that even before I do the physical things on this game, on this gridiron, I have to mentally go to a place that I probably ain't never gone before in my life. You know how hard it is when you are part of the 1% of the 1%? And I got to look at this other brother over there sitting, and he looking at me like,
I got the art of war, Sun Tzu over there. Sun Tzu says, most battles are won before you even fire a shot.
For sure.
I already know I got you, and I know I got you. You know, back in the day, man, Mike Tyson, late 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, Mike Tyson was just ain't nobody want none. Ain't nobody want none. Man, they came to touch, you know, you touch gloves in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Prior to Mike Tyson told one dude one time, he said, I'm gonna kill you. And dude said, I know. It was already there. It was done.
Hey, that's the psychological advantage. People like, again, that's why I tell people this game is, I know we talk about the stats, we talk about the physical things, but again, one of the most important things is this. It's the mentality that these individuals have. Well, we talking about Larry Bird, or we talking about the great Michael Jordan. Yes. When somebody can go to a locker room prior to the game and tell you, hey, oh, he guarded me tonight. It's a quick 45.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you how. Look, and then I'm gonna tell you every way. I'm gonna tell you before I do it how I'm going to do it. That's what Larry Bird told somebody one time. He said, he said, I'm gonna go with my left shoulder, right? Right there, short corner spot. Just watch. Then I tell you, like, to have that's called supreme confidence in one's ability, no matter who it is that I'm coming against. And that's what I'm telling people. Like, and again, we go circle this thing back around to the Brock Purdy situation, and even Kyle Shanahan. They got to be ready for somebody in Andy Reid who is willing in a NFC championship game to go out there and play ring around the rosies in the red zone. Bro, y'all don't understand what type of confidence, what type you gotta have who has the unmitigated gall to go out there in the goddamn playoff game. And so bro, you know what type of freedom, you know what type of trust, you know what type of understanding what it is that I have in these guys to do that play.
It's a freedom and a trust that's got to be built, and Kyle Shanahan's got to give it to it. He's got to lend to it, but on his end, he's got to know that, all right, I can trust it. He's a what would you say, a relenting truster of his system. The guy that's going to get the trust is a guy who has shown him something, who has done something with his system and took it from this level to that level. And this is what I see in Brock. We were averaging 24.5 with Jimmy G, same players, same level of competition, same time, same bat play, same plays. And then you go up to 33.5. But
then our defense, let's get it. Let's keep
it. My God, yes.
I got the EPA over the last half of the season. The defense, if you look at the difference in what the expected plays for the opposing team with the defense from like the first 7 weeks to the 7 week and beyond mark.
Yeah,
the defense played at such a high level that where as a football guy, I get how people, like I said, y'all, Brock doing his thizzle, I understand. But as I was telling the guy yesterday, I was watching the Dallas Cowboy game. We got a turnover in the red zone the first quarter. Shout out to Diamador Lenore, picked the ball off, threw the ball, had it at the 23-yard line, end up kicking the field goal. But what I was trying to tell somebody is, like, we put up stats, but we don't sit here and intend to bring context. Like, our defense was playing at a magnificent level. We are 49ers fan. We was getting like, hey, we haven't seen this type of production ever. We went I think 10 to 12 plus games were not even allowing a 60 plus yard rusher. 60 plus, like, we didn't even allow nobody to run over 60 yards on us. It had never done the history. They surpassed the Ravens.
And I'll say this, Twin, I chart these defenses. I keep this right on. I look at the 08 Steelers, 96 Packers, 78 Cowboys, 85 Bears, 02 Bucks, 78 Steelers, and they average 13 and 12 and I think that's the Ravens got down to 10.3 yards against. We were on a historic pace early in the year. That's why I really started charting how great this D was. and we actually went down with the loss of Emmanuel Mosley. After that Carolina game, we kind of lost our footing a bit. As you might have seen, we lost to Atlanta, and then we lost to.
But we got we was injured though.
I know that,
I mean,
I'm just saying the defense was on that level.
Yeah.
Early, I was seeing how great they were early,
monstrous,
and then they got their footing back with that shutout against the Saints, and we really started rolling. I want to preface that I love our defense, and I wish
averaging 2 turnovers per game. Like we had done that
taking
forever.
Away.
We was never taking the ball away.
We led the league in takeaways,
and then we led the league in takeaways in turnover differential as well.
Yep.
So like the gap between how many mistakes we made compared to how many mistakes that we caused, and then again, you're a football guy. Let's be real. We know about flipping the field position, getting the ball from down from the 20 and having to go 80 yards is different than getting the ball at half and only got to go 50, or getting the ball at the 45 and only have to go, a short amount of distance. And so to me, those things that we don't talk about, those things I think we hover over and go to these big numbers. But they always tell it 3 phases. You got offense, defense, and special teams.
Special teams.
Again,
great. George,
we never talk about how we fired Hightower last year. We never talk about how we got BA from being a punt return and a kick return and took him out there and got Ray McLeod. We don't talk about when we got Aaron Burks and we got George Odom, and our special teams got tremendously better, went from being 28th in the league to a top 10. Like, we don't talk about these things. So when I talk about Brock Purdy,
Jordan Mason did a wonderful job.
Wonderful guy. That's the only reason why he was actually instead of TDP, was because he had the ability to play on in special teams. So that's why he was dressed out. But people are like, why he ain't in there? Because it's his ability to go out there and know how to hit somebody on special teams. So when we talking football and quarterbacks and we look at these numbers and how, even though Brock Purdy did a beautiful job, he only averaged 214 yards passing per game. So if you only throwing 214 yards per game, you don't have distance to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have a short field, or you are doing things where the game is kind of more. You have a better perspective in the view of what's going on ahead of you. You don't have long drives to have to worry about doing. And so,
and that's again, a good thing.
I'm not knocking what Brock has done, but I do want to make sure that we give credence and props to. I used to be on Twitter thank God. I'd be like, so ain't nobody gonna talk about what the wonderful job of D'Amico Ryan is doing, because I know somebody else would have been out here. They would have been pom-pomming and cheering this guy on. But this is a second year DC who moved from being a literally a real bad, nasty number 1 draft pick.
He was bad.
Texans. That boy was nasty.
Ryan to play some linebacker.
He was really.
He got downhill, and he got downhill quick. Yeah.
Hey, him and what's my guy named Brian Crushing. There was a good tandem between them two.
The one from USC. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They was the boys. You ain't go in there, nasty, man. You won't.
So when we talking about a person who has the mentality to know how to play defense, he was our guy, man. He had switched the tide. So I was telling, my thing was like, I don't mind people talking about Kyle, but let's not disrespect what this guy is doing. You know what happened in our secondary last year. You knew how many penalties that we were averaging last year. You knew how many times we would give away a bad play and just pull down a defender, a wide receiver, and they'll call the flag, and we got spot foul, and we like, dude ain't about to catch the ball, but you didn't even turn your head. Your position was terrible. And this is how we survived. This was this was just a year ago.
Yes.
This is the groceries he had. And then he turned it around.
Because we got rid of Jaquaski Tart, who tried to catch the ball with some oven mitts. We could have been in the Super Bowl the year before. And you got to make the plays in the moment. Make the plays in the moment.
Our defense only gave it like 14 points per game. Dude, these are great stats that we had sustained. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person to say, even though we gave that level of defense on a consistent basis, the turnovers was wonderful. Our field goal kicker was great with and then even our punt kicker was out here. He was diming them. You know what I'm saying? We gave him a contract, and then he went out there and said, "Look, I'm finna make my money. Y'all finna." And he was kicking the heck out the ball, which now I was like, okay. And so when we looking at this offense, this again, Brock Purdy came in. He did an exceptional job, but let's not act like this thing wasn't lathered. Let's not act like we weren't seeing Jimmy Garoppolo playing some of the best football we ever seen him play.
He was playing his best ball.
His best ball.
And we were that's what boggled me so much, because this was the best we done seen Jimmy G. And this kid came in as a rookie and increased that to,
you know why though? Watch this. You a fan of the 49ers. We had this guy who should be in the HOF right now. He transformed a position. You know his name? He had some hot knees. He had some hot man.
Roger Craig. And if you check my Twitter page, I am on Twitter. I am announcing right now a campaign to put Roger Craig from the All-Decade team to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's a travesty that he is not there. He was the root that became the fruit of a CMC, that became the fruit of a Marshall Faulk, that became the fruit of an Edgerrin James and a LaDainian Tomlinson. There would be none of those without number 33. We used to call him Superman. Watch me, you.
So now you finna pick up what I'm putting down here. Since Kyle Shanahan's tenure as a 49er coach, tell me what running back we had come out the backfield that even did a small resemblance of anything that Christian McCaffrey has done. I'll wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
We had to use Debo Samuels. That's all we could do. We had no other way to do it. And Debo was like, when he got into contract negotiation, they were like, well, you know, you're a wide back. Debo said, hold on, I'm a receiver, man. But he said, no, you did most of your good stuff in the backfield. That's the only semblance. And they are very, they're very much interlinked between one another. If you think about it in this term, they're both positionless with their position. And it's what makes them great, because they play the opposite positions better. I say that Debo Samuel, a Pro Bowl or a All-Pro wide receiver who is the best running back at the position of wide receiver. CMC, an All-Pro, former All-Pro running back who, as a running back, is the best wide receiver route runner that you can ask for. It's like having the best of both worlds. And when CMC, the first week CMC came, I think we played the Rams. That was the second week that he actually played, but nobody was more thankful of CMC being there than Debo Samuels. There's a conversation that's documented when he goes to Kyle and says, man, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing him there.
So now, since 2017, we never had a running back to catch the ball in the backfield. Never. I think the highest attempt somebody got maybe catching on the backfield maybe was like 20-some attempts. That's it. No. I think Christian McCaffrey passed that in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And so my thing, I was crying out to the hilltops. Kyle won't get a pass catching running back. Kyle won't get a pass catching running back. Why won't Kyle get a pass catching running back? We need to get a pass catching running back. Our offense, especially our vertical game, is lacking. We don't run no 7 routes, no 9 routes, or no 8 routes. So therefore, we kind of, if you look at the chart, everything is in the middle or on the outside or at the LOS, right? And so I'm sitting there telling people like, dude, we need a running back to catch the ball, to be a release valve, because we've seen that we don't have the quarterback to be able to take the pressure off by throwing over the top. And we become a little like, the motion, it works from time to time, but when we play against other teams that are better or have a really good defensive line and the timing is off and they pressing us, we got issues. And so what I'm saying is, it took Jimmy no time to, once he started to understand that with CMC, hey, even the people who dislike Jimmy the most could sit there and say, okay,
I had to give him his props.
If this was the Jimmy who Ben was getting,
I'm
cool with this guy.
Yeah.
So then, and then Kyle would even say this, because he said this about several of his quarterbacks. It takes me time to get accustomed to calling plays. It was given, even with CMC, he had to get adjusted to what? The playbook. He had to learn. So even the first couple of weeks when he was doing okay, he had the game where he caught a pass, threw a pass, and ran the touchdown in.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He was still getting ingratiated into the offense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so then by the time Brock came there, that thing was moving. Kyle got accustomed to calling plays for him. You know what I'm saying? George Kittle was understanding what he was doing, as we hear now, how he was beginning to open up the playbook or give us more options and spaces in the middle of the field. So, like, again, the guy was playing wonderful. But let's realize that when CMC touched down in Santa Clara, he changed Kyle Shanahan's life.
Oh,
which
yeah.
in turn changed the quarterback rooms, and everything else. So, like, again, I don't mind people talking about what Brock Purdy has did and maybe what he can do, but CMC was the number one major factor in the entire thing. No doubt. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, that is a Swiss Army knife. The Roger Craig. This is why I'm bringing it together. If you look at your boy Tom Brady back there, you know what I'm saying? Back there in the back.
Oh, yes, sir.
Hey, you tell me this. Watch this.
My God.
Tom never really had wide receivers for real, right? But I tell you this, I don't like him. No, even though the one time he had when he lost, but I tell you, I'm talking about the times he actually won. In every Super Bowl, every AFC Championship game, the leading receiver for Tom Brady team was who?
Probably Gronk or Wes.
No.
Or Julian Edelman. Running backs. The running backs. Kyle, look, check out. Just look at the games. He threw the ball to the running back so often. They'll get 10 to 12. Not throughout the year, they don't get heavy doses of attempts or targets. But in the playoffs, he knew the most important thing was to what? Keep the chains moving and moving forward. That's his number one thing was keep the change moving. And they're going to... Let me interject with one thing right quick while it's on my mind, because I don't want it to drift off. You're right, 100%. CMC, when he arrived here, if you notice, he came on like a Wednesday, maybe a Tuesday, and then he hit the field against Kansas City, which we lost that game. But he was able to get a lot of the offense and be out there and be ready to play. That first week he touched down in San Francisco, California. He said, the guy that helped me get tutored up to understand this offense, Brock Purdy.
For sure. Hey, look, watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm about to say, right?
Go ahead.
And when Jimmy Garoppolo went down and Brock Purdy had become the starting quarterback, you know what he says? The person who helped him the most in the meeting room out there prior before the games when we were studying.
Talk to me.
A quarterback by the name of Trey Lance.
All right.
He said he said Trey Lance helped me like none other. He really, and so what I'm saying, like, I give you that, but people act like the young, because even what's the guy name? Brian Greasy, our offensive coordinator, was like, listen here, when a person usually get hurt, season injury like that, they kind of step away from the team.
Yeah.
He said for a boy to only be at the time 21 years old, 22, he said that man turned around and said he was in that locker room and he was helping that boy, Brock Purdy, grow and understand what we like our concept. You know how I do Wednesday, Thursday, whatever we was doing as far as the first and second down, red zone. He said that boy was helping me and helping me understand the game. So at the same time,
Trey's awesome. As a matter of fact, Brock's first NFL touchdown, he threw the juice on a spotter 2 wide banana. Juice spikes the ball and goes back and celebrates with everybody. It was Trey Lance that ran and got that ball and let Brock know. He said, hey man, I got that ball for you. That's your first one. I got that ball for you. He's an incredible young man. We're immensely blessed with these two young men. I don't know. For all the people, we ain't got no quarterback. We ain't got no quarterback. We really got it better than so many other teams.
But Terradome, my thing is this though: when people talk about Trey, and this is why I tell you from the beginning, the unevenness of how people sit there and and evaluate the other individual, they say, oh, well, he hadn't played games. He ain't got the reps. He ain't ready. If we play him, we're going to lose. But when his teammate says he's doing this behind the scenes, which helping me become a better quarterback when I wasn't expecting to play this year, nobody talks about, oh, well, I need 1,000-yard pass, 1,000 pass attempts to be able to have the ability to analyze the game and help somebody come forth with a game. Like, nobody say nothing about that then. Or they say, well, he was raw, wasn't ready when we got to play against the Texans in a must-win game. Nobody said, oh, well, the rawness was too raw to go out there and win a game to prepare us to have even the opportunity to even go and play.
Jim Harbaugh would have let him take over that week. It should have been. It should have been.
Where Roscoe at?
This is
where Roscoe at.
That's it.
And I said the same thing. People say, what you mean?
That should have been when you infused Trey Lance. That was before Brock Purdy got there.
You would have infused the locker room too.
You had momentum. Momentum has a word in it called moment. You need to seize the moment sometimes. And the moment that kid got us into the playoffs, because we had to win that one in Houston.
Yeah.
You keep him on in there, man, and say, we're going to ride until the wheels
fall
off.
Look, we're going to ride until the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing that we got to realize that, like you said, there's a time and a moment for those things. And so, and again, they say like injuries, right? So they say football ain't fair. Hey, Jimmy got hurt. Trey came in and played, but Jimmy got better. Trey, get back out, sit down. Now, my thing is like, okay, well, now y'all switching the tune up because y'all want to say winning. Hey, Jimmy G was winning NFC Championship game, Super Bowl appearance, and you still, you know what I'm saying, took him out and let the boy who you drafted come back and play. So what's good for the goose, good for the what?
Good for somebody. It's supposed to be the gander. I don't know.
What's going on, fellas?
I see y'all back, man. Brian Cope, man, thank you immensely, man. This has been, I done did a lot of them, but this is off the dome. I'm supposed to be Terra Dome, but this guy's dome. His ideas, man. You done had ladies' night, man. And you done put people on. You like that going. What's that? Clive Davis in music. You like, you put it down, man. You're incredible. You're a wonderful cat thing. Crazy.
I appreciate that.
Davis.
I really do, but I can't take the glory for this. I can't take credit for this. Shout out to Stevo Supremo, balling it up. You know, if you guys have seen him in the comments, he's the one who came up with this great idea. Again, I've seen you guys all over Terradome. You know, you're my good buddy. Twin, I consider you a great guy as well. We'll do more things in the future. Seen you on Ryan Hensley's show, and you know, if you know, I'm in his chats all the time.
For sure.
I just really wanted to get you guys together so we could hear a little bit about, you know, your guys' opinion without anybody cutting in and interrupting. I just found out, you know, I knew you had a channel. I found your channel. I dropped the link. So everybody, please go and subscribe to Twin Empire. Let's get him up to 300. Terradome, I dropped your link. Please, guys, go check out Terradome. He's at 94. He's almost there to 100. I'm modest as well. I'm at like 140 now, 41. So if you guys like to, you know, help me out, that's great. What my channel's a little bit about, and I'm going to bring my buddy in right now so you can see him. This is my buddy, David McNair.
McNair.
I like to talk in the morning, you know, like drink a little bit of coffee and just cut it up like you guys are, you know, nothing too serious, something fun for us to hang out and talk. And I like to say a couple dad jokes. But on Mondays, we get David here, and me and him, we'll get different people in from the faithful, you know, from around the world, right? And we're getting guests. So one day, you know, here soon, Twin, if it's in your time, you know, we'll try to figure out a schedule for you to come on, you know, in the morning, in the afternoon, because we're doing like a Monday evening show. But again, we just, you know, we want to come in, hear different people's opinions and thoughts, and to let you guys go on and talk, you know, really, you know, I think everybody was able to clearly hear you guys. You guys got good points off on both sides. I'd like to give you guys both, you know, like final thoughts. If you guys want to stick around a little longer for the rest of the panel, or if you have to go, it's okay. But again, thank you for coming. And I honestly think we should try to do this again before the season starts. Maybe right there after preseason or something, you know, and see what it looks like then if you guys are interested. But Again, let's give it to you, Twin Empire, and then we'll give it to Terradome. Your final thoughts on the current 49ers situation, quarterback, and overall your final statement.
Well, first and foremost, again, man, I just want to say thank you, Brian, for being the maestro, the MC of the situation, putting us together, the GM. And also, I think, like I said, you was in the chat one day and you said it, and we finally got together, man. So first and foremost, thank you for that. Big ups to Terradome for coming in, man. I know we were supposed to kind of talk about, the quarterback situation. I think we did, but I think our natural, just overall love for football in our charismatic way just kind of took over. We just had to sit down and just had a football talk and had a good time, man. So I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to get on here early this Saturday morning and having just a nice, kickstart your Saturday morning, man, talking about Niners football, man. So it was just full of excitement. And I would just say thank you, and also all the individuals that came in down below who was chatting. I mean, I saw you all. Appreciate you guys for tuning in early this morning, for sharing time with us. We really appreciate it. Continue to subscribe to the channels, and big up to David McNair. And also my guy, my first time meeting you as well with lockdown, man. Appreciate it. So my final thoughts is this. Right now, we still don't really know nothing. We're going to leave you a little bit more time. I had a whole cue card myself, Terradome, to talk about something else we're going on with the 49ers and training camp as well. What we may have to expect with Brock Purdy and what he needs to do to probably get himself ready for the season. I would just tell you guys this. Go check out Peyton Manning's Summer School 2013. It's a short documentary. It talks about what Peyton Manning did after the surgery, with the fusion of his neck and what it took for him starting off in April with repetition, with understanding getting throws, getting his wide receivers in there, and how important it is for reps. And so I would say this even with Brock Purdy and people who wants to put him out there kind of early. This guy at the time was a 13-year veteran, an R-rated Super Bowl champion, and he was talking about the importance of the small, minuscule things of football that he had to do in April. And I just want people to make sure that if this is the guy that we feel like can be our franchise quarterback, you want him to be mentally there, not physically, but this thing here, this documentary talked about the mental part of football that it's Peyton Manning. He the sheriff for a reason. So I digress, and that's my, that's all I have to say about that.
All right, I love it. Okay, Terradome, let's hear what your final thoughts are on your discussion with Twin Empire. And then if you want to cut it up a little longer, I know you said you might have to get out, but again, both of you guys, thank you so much for coming. So Terradome, the mic is yours.
Again, man, Twin Empire, man, I think we might have been separated at birth, my brother. You just come with the charisma. You get my jokes. You get my movie references. We done walked this thing around. We done in the Army. We said, I think we got bit by the same mosquitoes at some time or another. I can't put my finger on it. Wonderful conversation, and it was just uplifting, and that's from the Holy Spirit that we both share as well. And that's true faithfulness, not just faithful to the debate, not just faithful to the game, but faithful ultimately where God gives it. And this is much needed because there's so much discourse, there's so much strife, there's so much going on, man, and some animus that's going on between San Francisco 40. We on the same team, guys, and we can't have things like what we call fratricide in the military, where you frag a dude because I don't really like him, so you shooting his character down and assassinating who he is because he sees some things that you don't see, and you might have some things that he can't see. It's all better for the collective to get better from seeing it at every standpoint, every position, in every realm. And then it brings it better so you have fullness and you have oneness with something. We can all get there. We just have different opinions on something or a different aspect. Brian, you the dude, man. Come be coming with it. And David McNair, man, stroke of genius for you. You know what? We gonna cut it up here, Corey. I see you over there. You got the blanket matching you. You match it. Some of us can't match the whole daggone outfit with the daggone background.
That's Terradome.
Coolness, man.
Terradome.
What's up?
Hey, sometimes see, You gotta coordinate. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the mushroom.
But you don't stop there. You don't stop there. Look at the inside. Rod, did you know your dad got a special mushroom line?
If y'all don't get, hey, go out there and check out the one and only movie Boomerang. You know what I'm saying?
Boomerang. Awesome movie, man. And rest in power, Witherspoon, my man. We love it, man. We still love the San Francisco 49ers. It's going to be an interesting preseason. We're going to get on. I'm calling 15-2 this year. First round bye. And let's march this thing on up and take over. I think it's in Las Vegas. The Super Bowl will be. I'll see y'all in February. Let's go do this thing. Amen. John Witherspoon, that's it there, B-Bob. Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Big up Pops, baby.
All right. So since you guys are both here for a minute, let me get your thoughts on, well, if you see the overlay, you know, I'm a big special teams guy. I think I've asked Terradome this, so I'm going to ask you first, Twin, and then ask Terradome. What's your thoughts on the Jake Moody pick at 99? Are you happy? Do you think he's going to be like a secret offensive weapon, or is it kind of just one of those like reach picks?
Well, now,
you got it, Twin. Go ahead.
Okay, now picking the kicker, I'm cool with. Where we took him at the position, the third round, I was like a little side because I do believe there's other things that we need that is more prominent, especially when I'm talking about offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do think we need to really begin to take care of that, especially when we've got somebody long in the tooth. You know, with our guy Trent Williams, he ain't gonna be here forever. In the last 2 seasons, I don't know if you guys may have noticed this. His ankle has really been causing him issues, you know. So anyway, but the pick in general, though, I'm cool with. Like I was saying earlier, not too long ago, about the special team. We saw what happened with Hightower 2 years ago. It was rough on us. Special team had a scratch on our head often in games. I remember the Seattle game. I was like, oh my God, somebody save me. It was just so rough with our special teams and the things that was going on. So adding another player that could be here for the next 5 to 7 years, if he's productive, if he pans out, I'm good with, especially with Robbie Gould being such a consistent factor. He was, one thing I will say, he was dependable. You know, we knew what we were getting out of Robbie Gould. When he went up there to kick, we weren't like holding a heart. Like, we're like, you know, we felt confident in what it is that he could do because he showed it over 20 years almost. And so I hope that the young man gets the opportunity to be what we think he will be. And so I'm not that upset about it. I just didn't like him being in the third round. But I don't mind the kicker being selected as well, though.
Yeah. Terradome, let's hear your thoughts on the Jake Moody situation.
Hey, man, I was with you draft night, too. I was on a couple of different panels as it was happening. And when they said, I think it was he the 99 pick? Oh my God. And we said Jake Moody. I was, a kicker? For real? A kicker? I had to call co-workers. Co-workers called me and said, oh, Hugh, I know you're so disappointed.
Somebody pitying you.
Oh my God. They were hurting for me. But you know, what we have to consider too is on teams. And shout out to Robbie Gould. I was up there in Green Bay when he kicked that one that we won in Green Bay that day. It was cold as I don't know what up there. He's been steady, man. He's low-key savage. Robbie Gould needs to be said. I don't know who don't like Robbie Gould, but I call him Robbie Good as Gold. We could always depend on him, and he would make a couple of game-saving tackles in the playoffs and in special teams, man. Robbie Gould will get out there. What we say in the football world, he'll stick his face in the fan and make a tackle. Jake Moody's got a lot to live up to, and he's got the potential to do it because the kicker is primarily your leading point getter on all teams. If you go to every team, that kicker, every time you score a touchdown, he getting points on the package, as they say on the wire, and he's kicking them field goals as well. And when you stick your face in the fan and make a game-saving tackle, now you go into legendary status. So of all the rookies that we draft, his name will be mentioned the most, and I guarantee you he'll probably have the most points.
So for me, it's a big joke. They say offense, defense, wins, Super Bowls, right? I always say it's special teams because you have to have an overall special team, so that's kind of my, thoughts on it. So you definitely have to have a kicker, and you ask Tom Brady, does he believe kickers matter? He's got a couple rings because of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I played kicker. So, yeah, if you notice the Jake Moody jersey, I was really excited about the whole situation. I'm really sad to see Robbie Gould leave. But then, I started, pounding the table for Moody. I don't know if they heard me, but then we did this big draft day, collaboration. And they got me filmed when they said Jake Moody came out. And I take off my Mel Kiper tie and I'm shaking it, and it got a little excited there for a moment. So out of all the draft picks, I got that one right. I got it right one time. So I think it's going to be really awesome. The guy, it's kind of neat because he got the blessing from Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould went and trained with him. So a lot of people didn't know that. That's kind of neat. And then he told the Niners to draft him. He said, go after that guy. If you're going to let me go or we're not coming back, then get this guy. So that's really cool. And then if you want to, connect it all together, Robbie Gould came from Chicago, right? Well, our original kicker in the 94 Super Bowl, Doug Bryan, he was, on our team for one season, and then he went around a couple of years to different teams, and then he made it to Chicago. Well, his last game, he was replaced by Robbie Gould. So now Robbie Gould's like replaced by Jake Moody, and he's giving the blessing. So it wasn't during the season. It's kind of like before it. So it's kind of like, full circle there in a sense, if you think of it that way. But yeah, I really like it. I think, Sebastian Janikowski, that was a pretty big pick for the Raiders to take. And for us to take a kicker in the third, maybe fourth round, same thing with the punter. That was pretty solid. They're going after players that they think they're going to be able to be here for a long time. So if you get a kicker and he's not necessarily a first-round pick, and if you don't, if you really believe that's your guy, then pull the trigger on it. But I agree, like what you said, we could have went after a O-lineman or something, but that was the one player they said they want above anyone else to this draft league, and it's really funny. It came down to a kicker. So yes, this year kickers matter. So. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming, and let's go ahead and jump into it. You guys are welcome to stay as long as you want. We usually talk a little bit, and we just get into it. But do you guys have any thoughts? What's your thoughts on the preseason? Do you like the fact we're playing the Raiders? Do you think Jimmy G will be practicing, or is he even going to make the Raiders?
If Jimmy G's practicing, Fred Warner, get your interceptions ready, buddy. He's coming to you.
I'm interested to see that. I don't know if he'll actually be practicing, but yeah, if he could get some practice time in there, that would definitely be interesting to see how many picks he throws to Warner, or even if they put that situation together. But I don't know. Since I got both of you here, Twin, what's your thoughts on? Do you have an early season prediction?
To like record.
Yep.
So I gotta take my bias out of it, because if you ask me, we're going undefeated. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, I think we're the best, but we do got like context matters. So I do know that we have some some games where we're traveling from coast to coast, man, and in a short amount of, in a couple times, there's like only like 14 days in between like two games or something like that. So, but I think we should win. So my ceiling is 14. My floor is 12. Okay. So it's somewhere in between there. If we somewhere in between there, I'm happy, Yeah, so I think 12, bad, 14, we cooking with hot grease, you know what I'm saying? So
I like it. I'm saying 15-2. And I'm not too excited about playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh week 1. And I'm not too excited about playing the Ravens on Christmas Day. So those are my two notable games that I'm going to be, sitting on the edge of my couch, most definitely. So
I got one for you then. Since if you believe, y'all believe we're going to 15-2. That's a lot of winning.
That's a lot.
So do you believe that we're going to have whoever our quarterback week 1 will be our quarterback at the end of the year?
Oh boy, so that's a hard one. I would love to see a quarterback start the season and finish it, but the way we've been playing, and it just, I don't know. Honestly, I think they're going to, I said this last night, and I think they're going to rush Brock Purdy back out to start. I think he's going to get hurt. I don't want to speak this into existence, but this is just my fears. I think Trey Lance will come in or Sam Darnold's going to come in. It could be either one of them. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to get hurt. I think they're going to play pretty good for a couple of weeks, and then they're going to get hurt. I think whoever is the last man standing is going to take this team to the Super Bowl. I truly think our defense is that good. I think we upgraded. Sure. We upgraded with our, pick in the corner. The guy we moved up, free safety, or Jair Brown. I can't.
Yeah, Jair Brown.
Jair Brown. Thank you. Yep. And I just think we're going to make improvements on that side. I think with the guy we got from the Eagles, Javon
Hargrave.
Javon, thank you. You got to remember we got 2 Javons now, or Jalon, or anyways.
It's Javon and Javon.
Yeah. I think we're going to make upgrades, and I think Drake Jackson's going to come in a little bit bigger and stronger. So I'm really excited for the defense this year. I thought last year we were really good, but maybe that Armstead injury, the plantar fasciitis, I don't know if he had it 1 foot and it traveled. I don't know if he was dancing. I don't know what happened there. But when he came back at the end of the season, I thought we started really getting solid. And it's just, I'm excited. I really am. 15-2. I think, it could be it could be a trap game, I think. But I think the Niners are really we're better than the Rams. We're better than the Cardinals. The Seahawks, as long as we play them like they're the Seahawks and don't sleep on them, we'll beat them. And I think the Niners are going to play up to the Eagles. I think the Eagles are coming into a moment during their season for a stretch that they might be a little banged up. I'd like to play everybody at the best. You want to play your opponent at the top of their game too. But if it is what it is and they're banged up, that might be an advantage for us. And the other game that, is kind of interesting is, we have the Cowboys. We're going to play the Cowboys early in the season. I think it's a Sunday night game. It's like the first time we played them in almost like I could definitely be wrong here, but it's been like 20 years since we played them like on a Sunday night. So that's going to be a big game. And I think if we just play Niner football, we don't, go in like we've won something. Because at this point, we have 5 Lombardis, but we haven't won anything recently, right? This team hasn't done anything. They made some noise, but, until you lift the Lombardi, you haven't been made, right? So I definitely think they got to continue to go in with the mentality of the world's against us. They don't believe in us. And I like how they did it when Jim Harbaugh was here, because it was who's got it better than us? Nobody. And the team bought into it. So that's my thoughts. David, what's your thoughts on the whole situation? Because I know you'd like to jump on that too.
Well, when it comes down to it, we haven't won anything since the 90s. We're past due. And when it comes to the QB situation, we got, Brock Purdy doesn't need to rush back. We have Trey Lance, and he needs reps. We have Sam Darnold, which, he sees ghosts, 6 and Sammy. And I honestly think it would be sad situation to watch Trey Lance go away without seeing him play and seeing what he can actually do for us. We picked him with the 3rd overall pick. I want to see what the guy has, And also when it comes down to it, I root for them, the team on the front, not the name on the back. So it's all about winning the chip. We went through 4 QBs last year. So when it comes down to it, Kyle, you need to do better with your QB protection, buddy. Either get the ball out quicker, run the ball more. Either way, you leave Juice in to block, because he didn't really catch many passes or wasn't utilized like he should have been. So, Kyle, do better. Keep our QB healthy, and Brock Purdy, I honestly don't think that he's going to allow the team to rush him back because, he went and got a prognosis. And then he went and got a second opinion. So he's all about, what do I actually need to do here? And for his own future and health, he doesn't need to rush back. He's already proven he could do something in the league, and that's going to hold value with another team if it's not us. Trey Lance, incredibly high ceiling. His deep ball, if he can work out the short range and mid range throws, his deep ball opens up the playbook more than it ever has been. So this is all stuff I want to see.
Corey, what do you think?
Yep, we need now for on a one quarterback the last whole season. Kyle needs to get on that. He needs to look at protection because our quarterbacks don't last the whole season. And like David, I want to see Trey Lance out there. I want them not to rush Purdy back. If he's not ready, not ready. Let's put Trey Lance. I want to see the man give a chance. Give him the chance. Let him throw the ball. And I've been saying this. I've been preaching this. Do not use him as a running back. I want them, the 49ers, to use Trey Lance like they used Steve Young. Steve Young was a quarterback, but he used his feet when he had to. He did not call plays for him to use his feet. Treat Trey Lance like they treated Steve Young. Let him throw the ball. Let him run the play. Don't call running plays all the time for him. Use his feet when he have to. And yes, like David, I root for the name. I know you can't hardly see that, but the name on the front of the jersey.
For sure.
Yeah. Not the name on the back.
Mm-mm.
Even though I like this player.
Yeah, I noticed that Nick Bosa on there.
Bosa. And hey, my man Lockdown. Check this out. And this is the thing I told people, man, about our quarterback situation. All right, we've seen over the last 6 years, we had a different leading rusher every year, right? Every year we had a different, and every year several of them got hurt, correct?
Yep.
Over the last 6 years, George Kittle has said it. We had a quarterback get hurt. Almost every year but 1 year. We've had multiple, sometimes 2 and 3, and even last year, 4 quarterbacks. My thing for Kyle Shanahan last year when we started this football season off running Trey Lance the way we did, I'm just going to use simple numbers. If the running back position stay hurt, why would you be running your quarterback who you invested 2 first-round draft picks in 10-plus times a game? 8+ times a game. To me, that need to be somebody. Nobody made Kyle Shanahan accountable for his mistakes because the injury history on the quarterback and on the running backs is right there in front of you. So you drafted a quarterback to say that you need him to be healthy, and then you run him. And then our running backs who stay hurt. So he's playing 2 positions and doing 2 things which he could get hurt in. I thought that wasn't cool at all. And then for people to say that, well, only reason why Kyle was running him is because he didn't understand the playbook or he didn't know the playbook, right? Or he couldn't make the passes. So you telling me a whole entire offseason, you couldn't take the second half of the Houston Texans games and all the passes that he threw? You couldn't take the preseason game of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers where he was throwing the ball? I just say, hypothetically speaking, there's 65 passing plays in those 3 games combined. So you telling me you had a whole offseason and you couldn't get that boy a playbook where he could throw the ball at least 25 to 30 times with that game film for him, that you had to run him that many times? And you are a genius or you are a football savant when it comes to creating plays, and nobody can't say nothing about this as if something's not wrong with that. I have an issue with that.
Yeah, I subscribe to your channel, Twin.
Appreciate it.
So,
Yeah, Corey's got a really cool channel too. So if you check him out, he does trivia on Thursday nights. We were doing it Wednesday nights. He does the reveal. It tells you what your numbers are on Sunday night. We talk football after that too. Have a cool little panel. But during the year, Corey does the weekly pick'em. So all of us usually get together and we break down the week, I think like Wednesday night, and then we'll pick for the following week and stuff. So, and then after the end of the year, Corey does something special for whoever wins. But yeah, Corey's been to a lot of games. He's met a lot of different players. He lives in the Bay Area. Dude, you can see he bleeds red and gold. So Corey's great. So the whole thing, I think, like what you're saying with the Trey Lance situation, and the reason they were running him a whole lot is because he was injured and his finger was broken. It didn't heal right. Then, it didn't heal in the preseason. He played in the Cardinal game. He hurt his knee in the Cardinal game. He probably should have started after the Cardinal game, but he hurt it. I think the next game after that was the Colts game, and they were considering playing him, but because they knew it was raining and they didn't trust his knee, I guess, at the time, and on top of that, his finger, I think that's been some of his issues on not being able to deliver the short pass. But now he's training with, Mahomes. He's got new intangibles. He's supposed to be really healthy. So I would like to see what he's got too. There was some discussion last night, and we were talking about maybe possibly Trey Lance teaching Brock Purdy the playbook, and that's great. If you've been on the team for 2 years or 3 years, you should know the answers, or you should know some of the verbiage. But to be able to go out there and execute it or deliver it, now that's a little different. Sometimes, you do have to have those reps. You always do. That's why they have practice. So one of the points that was made last night is Brock Purdy knows the verbiage, and Kyle can tell him, like, go route, fly, dig, pop it pass two, on 3, Omaha, whatever, tell him a Caden, and he knows what to do. So it's not even really a play. It's the verbiage in the offense, but they're like making up plays as they're going. And he's smart enough to go out there on the field and articulate it to the guys and say, I need you to run a fly or a zip, or I need you to, run a crossing route here, or vice versa. We're going to do a dive. So that's really neat. And I think once Trey is at that position, or is that confident where he can articulate and he can, I don't know if you got to play Madden football. I don't know what you got to do. But when you can, say, okay, this is exactly what we're doing, and you can tell your guys and they have the same confidence, I think that's going to put them over the top. I think it's funny and not funny, but interesting that we were talking about, like, the quarterback. The quarterback needs to be able to stay in the pocket and throw the ball. And that was one of the things that Steve Young and Bill Walsh was really emphasizing when they were playing and starting and coaching together. Steve would run and he would scramble. So Walsh did. He told him, I want you to stay in the pocket. I want you to stay in the pocket. And I think when we got to where we're with Kaepernick, I think it was Jimmy Ward who was laughing during practice saying, we know you can run, Cap, but we want to see you throw. So, it's one of those things. It's like, if the coaches aren't emphasizing it, or they're letting them do whatever and go, backyard football, well, not everybody's Russell Wilson. And we can't all win backyard football. I think that's the only guy who I'd be comfortable with just saying, have at it, every play, you can snap the ball and do whatever you want. But no, we can't have guys just spinning around in a circle in the backfield. They need to know what they're doing. And if Trey isn't necessarily the fastest guy, why are we having him run? I know in college he ran up the middle. He was bigger than everybody in college, so he could run straight up the middle, but he doesn't have the speed. He's not Kaepernick. He's not like Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have that outside speed. He's not Mostert. If he was, then I wouldn't be so afraid to let him run, but he needs to bootleg out so he can get his guys open, like how Purdy was doing, and expand the offense. We brought him in to have this big arm, deep threat. Let's keep him in the pocket. Let's let him use his arm.
And with that, we got to protect. If you keep getting robbed, you don't have a money problem. You have a protection problem. It's something about you saying you are a mark. You're easy to hit. Something needs to keep people off of you. And I dare venture to say, I did not like Mr. McGlinchey on my right side getting thrown out of the club like Jazzy Jeff on the Fresh Prince. Every time I look, he was in the lap of my quarterback. Every time I looked, that side was getting crushed. Every time I look at, and one time it became a a thing with Brock, they would say people would say, well, he always bails out left. He always bails out left. Would you bail out right if Mike McGlinchey was over there? I'm hoping the addition and the infusion of Colt McKivitz, who is supposed to be better at pass pro, maybe not as good as run. That's what they say on McGlinchey. I didn't see him dominate as a run blocker very much. To my recollection, when you're a dominant run blocker from the tackle position, I should have some highlight films of you just dominating somebody downfield. I know I saw Trent Williams peel up on a Los Angeles Ram one time, or a Packer one time, when he came around that edge, and that cornerback had to make some business decisions when he saw 71 coming in. That's what I'm talking about. I take offensive line this serious, man. I played a little offensive line in high school. I played guard. I studied offensive line. I know it takes you coming off that line with a low ascending blow. That means I'm coming up on you. I'm coming up on you. I'm up under your pads, and I am going to manipulate this situation. I'm going to be man on man with you. I need him to be menacing. I need him to be great. I need him to be able to anchor. He must have the feet of a dancing bear and the attitude of a bear that has just got his food took. You understand what I'm saying? We're trying to protect people here. This is the franchise that we got back here, whether it's Brock Purdy, whether it's Trey Lance, whether it's Jimmy G, whether it's Brandon Allen. I need you to be the absolute best you can be and protect him like he's the president of the United States. And if it looks like he's going to get hurt, if it looks like he's going to get injured in whatever time, whatever place, in whatever way, you better hold or you better get him. I don't want no punks up there. We're going up to Philadelphia. That's where they fight. That's where Rocky from. These are the people we're gonna go after, and they don't care about your little your switch right, your green rights, or nothing else. They don't care about all the pomp, the circumstances, and the pulling guards and this and that. No, it's gonna be man on man football, and we gotta get down and we gotta get it. It's gonna be protection. It's gonna be pushing. It's gonna be pivoting, and we need protection, pulling, and pivoting by our offensive tackles and our guards. I like what I see with Spencer Burford. He has signed to my cousin's sports management group. He can do no wrong, but I see development on him. Banks has made a big step. Brendel is a Pro Bowl alternate. Trent Williams is probably the best offensive tackle since Anthony Munoz, for you old school people out there, who is the gold standard of offensive tackles. But we got a question over here on the right. I need Colt McKivitz to do what he's got to do. And for the little tight end that missed that block, little A is in Miami now. So I got some new ones coming in here named Latu and Braden Willis. Is it what you're talking about, Willis? Yeah, I got some new ones coming in here that if they can't sustain the blocks, they'll be on the bus too. I need people to protect. I need the ball downfield, and I need to go and get this chip. 15-2. 15-2.
All right.
Let's get this chip.
I love it. I really do. I'm probably going to drop the link because I guess got a couple guys that would like the link in the chat. So if you guys don't mind, we can do that. But before we do that, Gavin, I don't know if you know Gavin, the notorious Gav. He's from Wales, great supporter of the fan club. He's repping in the UK, right? He has this great question. And if you don't know about him, he's a big Kyle Juszczyk fan. He also likes CMC. He's always trying to get, Juice to be a captain. Really appreciate that too. I love Juice. So with Gav, his question is Kyle Shanahan on the hot seat if we don't win a Super Bowl this year? And I want to start with David, and then we'll come around, go Corey and Terradome and Twin. And I'm going to drop the private chat, the link. So if anybody wants to pop in, if you pop in, if you're not showing me your face, you're not coming online. If you get out of term, I'm going to have to boot you out. We have a respectable show, but I appreciate your thoughts. And if anybody wants to drop in, I'm going to put the chat in the link.
I got to drop out, fellas. It's been wonderful. Let me go on out here and tell a few jokes. I'll see y'all on the flip-flop. Love y'all. Hey, 49ers all day, 49ers all night, 49ers whenever we ready to fight. Hey, see y'all later.
All right.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Same thing too, man. I'm going to get these groceries taken care of. But again, thank you, man. I really want to appreciate you guys for having me on, man. It was fun. Got me nice and lathered up for this wonderful Saturday morning. I think I'm gonna have to go out here, finish doing this grocery and go cut some grass. But man, thank you guys for having me. Y'all continue to support the channels. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe to Brian channels and everybody else that's down below as well. Thank you guys. Y'all already know, bang bang, not a game. Let's go.
Dude, thank you so much, man. And we'll be in contact. You have a great day.
For sure. Nice meeting you. Always a pleasure meeting you too, Mr. McNair, baby. I see you, my guy.
All right. So, guys, that was a great experience. We had a lot of good fun right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the link. If anybody wants to pop in and say hello, we're going to just keep it for a little bit longer, and we're going to get out of here. Maybe I don't have a yard anymore. Okay. I don't have a front yard or a backyard anymore. They dug it all up. I have no grass. So, I don't have yard work right now, but we have a couple people who might want to jump on, and I've never met this guy before. So again, thank you for coming in. We'll try to keep it respectful. And if you're a 49er fan or if you're a fan of football in general, we can talk. So bringing in the big. All right. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you coming. First off, would you like to tell your name, tell everybody where you're from and what team you root for?
Hey, I root for Chicago Bears.
Going in and out.
Yeah, your audio is really bad. If you want to pop out and then come back in, I'll bring you back in. Maybe that'll clear it up.
I know.
Yeah, your audio is really bad. So you probably should pop out and come back in. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got a lot of people coming through. Really appreciate you guys all. And let's start it out. Corey, how's your morning? Thank you for coming. I know we gotta wait a little bit before we can start talking, but how's your breakfast? What'd you eat? Did you get any coffee? Oh, you don't drink coffee. Apple juice this morning?
I haven't eaten nothing yet.
Oh boy. How about you, David? I noticed you had your cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, I've just been drinking coffee. I haven't ate anything yet. I gotta do my thing and mow my grass. My weeds at some point. The grass doesn't really grow well in my yard, but it's just typical Saturday stuff.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna bring this guy back in, and hopefully his audio is a little bit better. Again, never got to talk to you before, so let's go. All right, big. Let's hear your audio. Maybe you're a little bit better.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No, you sound like a robot. I'm not sure if you could get on a laptop or a better connection, but if you got any questions and you want to put them in the chat, we'll try to get to them, but we can't hear you very well.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, guys. Trying to be friendly this morning. And, we appreciate all the interaction. So if we've never talked to you before and you'd like to come on, stay in the chat. And if you do want to come on, hopefully your audio and your equipment's working because, we don't want any weirdness. We're just a bunch of guys getting together in the morning, drinking some coffee. Sometimes there's some ladies in here and, might be a dad joke or two, but we keep it clean. But definitely appreciate it. So let's get into it. Last night was a pretty good show. If you guys didn't get to check it out, a lot of cool commercials. Really, really cool. If you didn't hear it, last night was, I got to see the news report. It was National Koi Day, National Forgiveness, and National Chocolate. So if you have to forgive, sometimes I guess it's a little bit easier to do it with chocolate, right? So, Corey, what you got going on for today?
Well, we don't have to eat no breakfast. I first either gonna take my brother, not the one that comes live with me, he lives in Vallejo, to breakfast. His birthday was yesterday. We either taking him out for breakfast or for lunch.
Okay.
It seemed like we might be going out for lunch because my brother came in and said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
It's not like he's already fixed his wife breakfast.
All right.
And then this evening, I'm doing a makeup trivia show. So for the ones that missed it or didn't finish, you come tonight at 7:00. I'm doing a makeup trivia show, 49ers trivia show.
So this is for you, Steve-O. Steve-O, if you missed the trivia and you want to come back in tonight and answer the rest of the questions so you're on par with everyone else, Corey's having a makeup show for Jeff, and if you want to come. So how is your morning going, Steve-O? What'd you think of the great debate between Pterodome and Twin Empire? I think they got a lot of good points out.
Well, I missed the first 22 minutes. I was thinking it was a 10 o'clock thing. This 9 o'clock on Saturdays isn't working for me now that I'm working. But I just want to shout out Twin. Twin's brother is a Cowboys fan, and I mean he has his channel is Law Nation, and he's got like 110K subscribers. If you guys could subscribe to him as well. He's just like his brother. He's just on the wrong side of the fence, but I mean he keeps it real, just like Twin.
Yeah. I've seen both of them on the Ryan G. Hensley show, and he got to interview both of them, and they are funny. When you get those two guys together, they're funny. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, appreciate everybody coming in, but, we try to keep it polite and respectful, and you want to talk 49ers? Come on in. We like to talk 49ers. But yeah, Twin and Pterodome, they needed to go a little earlier today, so we jumped up and fired up the computer at 8 and California time and got everybody on. And I just wanted to kind of, like you said, it was your idea. I thought it was a great idea. Let these guys come in and talk, and let's hear what they got to say. And, sure enough, they started cutting it up, and it was great. Good morning, John. How are you today?
What's up?
Hey, John J.
Yeah. A little bit late start for me. I don't know what happened. I never wake up late, so I missed the interview. I'll probably watch it later. What's up, everybody?
No worries. Appreciate you got here. Yeah, it was a great interview. The guys, they got to talk, and just stayed out of it, let them talk, and I think they had a great show. What do you think, David? Was there anything that you want to ask him maybe next time, or was there something that you don't think they touched on? I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get Twin in. Pretty sure we'll be able to get Twin in for a interview sometime.
Well, at this point, nothing comes to mind, but when training camp starts, I'm sure some things will come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't watched it. I was going to rewatch it, but I figured I'd hop on real quick. But I would probably guess that would probably in the future be a good duo for a podcast.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Really, really cool. So yeah, if you're a bot, we can't have you coming in because we just don't understand what you're saying. So appreciate you coming through, but yeah, if you're having mic issues, we're gonna just have to slowly say maybe next time. So I really liked what they said about the kicker. I thought that was a lot of good points. I also liked what they said about the quarterback feet and the whole issue. But let's finish up what Gavin was saying, because Gavin had a good question, and I don't think we got to expand on that. And let's start with David. If Kyle has a bad season this year, or I don't even really know how you would really word that. If he has a bad season, I don't see that happening. If he doesn't make the playoffs, I guess that would be a bad season. If he gets to the NFC Championship and loses, I guess that would be a bad season. So if Kyle doesn't win it, do you think he's on the hot seat, Mr. McNair?
No.
I agree.
So Jed York, it took him a long time to figure out how to be a winner.
Mm-hmm.
We all remember the 2000s. And then, now he's at the point where they're competing, and it seems like he's content with us being competitive. But, we need to win Super Bowls. We're the San Francisco 49ers.
Well,
So, no, I don't think Kyle will be on the hot seat. We might end up with another Andy Reid situation.
Correct. I agree. I think we will keep him for a long time. And at a certain point, he'll probably rebuild multiple rosters. Mr. Corey Davis, what's your thoughts? Do you think Kyle will be on the hot seat with a NFC Championship loss or a losing record?
If I was the owner, yes, he will be on the hot seat. But with Jay York, whoever his name is, I don't see it. I think he'll be still here. But I'd say he should be on the hot seat. Yeah, York should come to him and say, hey, I'm going to give you one more year. If this happens again, you're out of here. You're playing for your season this year. But like I said, if I was the owner, yes, he would be on the hot seat. But I'm not the owner, and I don't think he's going to be here for longer.
Before we move on to the next person, I want to give a big shout out to Miss Deanna. She is a great lady. This is my wife's auntie. And one day here soon, we're going to have her on the David McNair and 49er, Bryant Culp and David McNair Monday night evening talk. We'd love to have her come on as a guest and get her to tell her side of being a faithful. Keep pushing her, but we're gonna have it happen soon.
Is that the one that donated the jersey?
Yes. This is a big supporter of the channel. She's donated 2 jerseys. So if you guys are interested and would like to win a jersey here in the future, we're going to hold off until we get a little bit bigger of a subscriber list. But we're going to give away 2 different jerseys at 2 different times. And this is the lady who I have to thank. And I have a lot of just good things to say. And I'm also looking forward to being able to go to the preseason game this year. At her house, the Niner Raider preseason game, I'm going to get to help barbecue. So I'm going to get to go lay down. So that's a lot of fun. So, okay, let's go to John now. John, what do you think of the question? If he has a losing season, if he doesn't make the playoffs, or if he makes it to the championship game and loses it, or let's even top it. If he makes it to the Super Bowl and loses it, does he get fired? Is he on the hot seat?
So I think someone asked me this question. I don't know if it was on Corey's stream a few months ago.
Okay.
And I want to look at it. I want to look at NFL history to look at great successful coaches who spent a decade with a team and was always just like short of that Super Bowl and got opportunities after opportunities. First, I want to bring up Jason Garrett. Again, I do not like the Cowboys, but Jerry Jones had a soft spot for him. And if you look at his overall record, look at all those 8-8 records. Look at those 8-8 records in only 3 seasons. And one of the seasons was a 13-3, season, and they, I think, lost in the first round. So when you look at that situation, fans were calling like years in advance to fire him, telling he's not the guy. He's not the guy. And Jerry Jones didn't care. Finally, after a decade of watching that, he said, we're not going nowhere. So they got Mike McCarthy. Don't know what's going to happen in that situation. Of course, Andy Reid, his first stint, in his time, they went to 5 NFC championship games, and they were in 1 Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl against the Patriots, they had 1 minute and 17 seconds, and they went 10 yards in 40 seconds, 10 yards. Andy Reid took his time. Looks like he basically either choked or just gave up. And he was there until they started losing. And then he went to Kansas City, and then he got Mahomes, and then we all know what happened. So when I look at Kyle Shanahan, he's not going to go nowhere anytime soon. But if Kyle continues to like do this for the next couple of years, and we make it to the title game and we lose, or we go to the Super Bowl, we lose. What does York have to do in his head to say, I think this is what I want. I think this is what I want. If this is what he wants, us Niner fans have to accept it. But if you are an owner and you want to see Super Bowls, and I remember when I was a kid, and he took over the team. But technically, I wasn't a kid. I was like in college. But when he took over the team, I'm better than my grandfather. I'm better than my those dumb interviews. He's saying I'm better than my grandfather. So if you want to be better than your grandfather, you need to win Super Bowls. Until then, you're not a good owner. So he needs to grow up and realize, what does he want? Does he want to be competitive, or does he want Super Bowls? Because he fired Harbaugh after 3 consecutive NFC Championship games and the Super Bowl in 4 seasons. Don't know what happened. We all know, like the little scuffle in the damn locker room, and he fired him, and that was good success. Okay, but at the end of the day, York has to see what he wants. And overall, this is our coach. He's not bad, but he's starting to realize that he can have a tenure like Jason Garrett, and he can have a resume like Andy Reid. So that's how I look at this situation.
Steve-O, what do you think? Is Kyle ever going to be on the hot seat?
No. When I look at it a few different ways, look, everybody knows that we should have kept Harbaugh over Balky, right? I mean, it's like a no-brainer. And it's different. Back in the day, the quarterback used to sit for 3 years when I was growing up. That was a mandatory 3 years. There's a reason they did that. It's evolving. There's been some success with starting rookies. Not a lot, but everything's changing. I could see us losing 2 more NFC Championship games, and he's fine. Like him and Lynch meshed really well together. Back in the day, you had to be like 60 years old before you got a head coaching job. Shanahan is like within 2 years of my age. He's like his mid-40s. So I mean, we're lucky there. We could have this guy for 20 more years. You know what I mean? And he's the kind of guy that schemes up plays, and then he plans out 2 games in advance. So, for example, you remember Trent Williams tripping plays, Last Second Sports pointed out, and it became national thing. And he goes, yeah, we just installed 60 more run plays. Like, how many teams are doing that? Maybe teams are, and I just don't hear about it. But I don't think a lot of teams are doing that, or just changing the route from one week to another. That doesn't happen a lot. And think about this: like, if Jimmy G, who can't throw the deep ball, doesn't overthrow Sanders by 5 yards, there's a Super Bowl. If Tartt doesn't drop the ball, there's another Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, Jimmy G could have 4 Super Bowl rings. That is he one of the greatest Niners ever? Some stupid crap like that. But Jed York just, they wanted to get we wanted to get a big name guy, Hargrave, right? And he goes up York. John Lynch goes up to York and he says, "Hey, just make a difference maker." That's all he says, something stupid like that, which is, obvious. But he says it, and he just backs out of it. And okay, go get this guy. All right, we're gonna get this guy. Like he just kind of stays his way. And look, a lot of people that go into the head coaching gig, like they don't succeed right away. Look, even Bill Belichick, he stank at the Browns, and then he had to cheat like 20 times and got caught like 7 or whatever it was. But it doesn't happen a lot. Pete Carroll, like same with him. Like a lot of guys, even though they're successful now, they don't have a good. Andy Reid, like he wasn't, even though he had a quarterback in Philadelphia, like he wasn't good his first stint. Kyle Shanahan did have to earn his job, before he got it, despite what people think.
Yeah, he was a water boy, and then he made it through the ranks. He became a wide receiver coach, I believe. He was a coach for John Gruden. He was a coach for the Cleveland Browns, the Texans, the Falcons, the Redskins. The Washington Commanders. I'm always going to call him Washington. I'm going to try to just call him Washington. He's been around the league. He's got a lot of experience, and I don't see him being on the hot seat unless something devastating happens.
Because we all know he'll get a job tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If we drafted all the head coaches tomorrow, did a draft, fantasy draft, he's getting picked top 2 or 3, right? Yeah. But where are we going to be at? He makes some, we seen the play. Well, he didn't challenge the play. It wasn't the timeout. It was you only get 2 challenges for some reason. And, everybody has a few growing pains. But, I mean, like, overall, like, we can analyze it afterwards when we've watched it, like, 20 times. But when you're, like, you got 30 seconds to make a decision, you know what I mean? You can't, like, you should go for it on 4th down line, this and that. It's just like, well, you can, if you know the result, it's easy to say something. But if you don't know the result and you got 30 seconds to make a big time decision, that's why these guys get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I just really don't. He's not the guy out there, doing the play. He's the one calling the play. So as long as he can justify saying, well, this was the right play or this is the right situation. And for how many people to miss that play in the booth, NFL executives or, the TV shows, so many people, there was 11, 20 different people that missed the same play. And then here goes the guys and they're all running down the field to try to get up to the line. I think, those are some curtain calls. Those are some say, hey, maybe we should do something here. But the way the Eagles were playing right there, it was almost like they were just trying to like get up to the ball real quick and try to get over us. It wasn't necessarily kind of hard because we didn't have all the computer shots or the camera angles to say, oh yeah, the wide receiver dropped it, but again, Hufanga did try to signal to the sideline, challenge. And when you do get to see the play, you see Shanahan and he's got the play script over his eyes and it's like, wait, you're not on offense right now. You're on defense. Why are you trying to scheme up your next offensive play when, the offense of the other team just dropped the ball and, you're more concerned with what you're going to be scripting up when you do get the ball back. Okay, I get it, and maybe he wasn't, but that's what it looks like and it appears from the sideline. Like he wasn't watching the play. He was looking at what next offense, he was going to do when he got the play and he got to get the ball. So I don't know, maybe I don't think he's going to be on the hot seat anytime soon, but
I mean, he has a guy for that too, right? I mean, everybody has a spotter, so I can't, totally put that on him. But also, like,
you could put it on the defensive coordinator too.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be watching the field, and he should have been over there saying, running up to Cal, throw the red flag, Cal, it was a drop pass, throw the red flag.
Yeah.
My big thing was Hufanga was like totally right there seeing the play, but Hufanga wasn't experienced. So are you going to trust a player that young? If he was 5 years in the league, I assume, especially running up to the ball, you know what I mean? Like that's almost a dead giveaway, but everybody expects, because we're Niner fans, that we would have won the game if we would have challenged that. And that could be, but it's no guarantee. And as far as head coaching goes, name another coach that has a coaching tree like Kyle Shanahan, like Bill Belichick, right? We're losing players left and right for like the past 3 years or whatever, right? Like name another a coach that can coach coaches to coach like Kyle Shanahan does. I mean, that's pretty impressive, I must say.
Yeah, the only one I could think of would be like Mike Holmgren, if you want to consider him, but he's kind of under the Bill Walsh tree, so it's like that's why it's like it's funny. You have these trees and then these people, they grow their own branches. So like Steve Mariucci came from Green Bay. He was over there. He was Brett Favre's quarterback coach. So it's like, one of those things. And then he moves on to Seattle and we know what happens from there. So at this point in time, I don't see there being another decent coach in college or the NFL that would be able to come and take over for the Niners. I just don't see it.
Well, you have to evolve because the NFL evolves. I'm not saying that there is someone out there. I'm saying that just a few years ago, there was a coach who now is in USC called Lincoln Riley. His name was like floated because, what he did with, the quarterbacks with Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, and I forgot the other quarterback. But he's a good play caller. He's a good play designer. And then look what he did with USC. USC has been that team that's been just like, we're just so close, but we're still bad. We're so close that he basically took the team to the Pac-12 conference championship, I think. Or anyway, but the point is he's a good coach. So there are good coaches out there. It's just, that when they look at college coaches, they're like, I don't want a Nick Saban who's really good in college, and he goes to the and there are a lot of young coaches out there that are under the radar, but we don't give them any second thought because I've had this conversation on YTC and his French channel. There's a bias. Why did Matt Nagy, who got fired from the Bears, return back to Andy Reid? Why do these coaches, that do horrible, go back to Bill Belichick? Things like that. So there's a bit of biases when it comes to, because there are a lot of good coaches like Eric Bieniemy should be an NFL coach. Has nothing to do, with his, ethnicity. Screw that. It's just that teams are looking like, Andy Reid's coaches have been trashed, so we're not going to hire you. So you see the biases, but he's made Patrick Mahomes really good. They have that good chemistry, and he developed up and brought him up to speed. Now he's going to the Commanders, and if he could take Sam Howell, he's a good coach. Again, we'll find out in a different thing. So just because there's no one out there that can replace Kyle, I'm not advocating to replace. There are coaches out there that, if you study the game and you watch the other teams as well, that's why, you learn about not just the Niners, but every other team and see, oh, this guy's really good. The Giants coordinator, the defensive guy, he was with the Ravens for so many years, went to the Giants, took that defense and boom, in 1 year, took them to the playoffs. It really shows you that there are a lot of coaches under the radar that, and of course, I'm gonna be a little bit biased. I think the Gannon sign with the Cardinals may not work, in my opinion. We'll see what happens in 3 years, but I haven't been wrong when it comes to coaches that are under the radar and coaches who are just like put up there. The Bill Belichick's. Why don't they ever work out? That's a really good question. So I just wanted to say that.
That's a good point. And I think that it's similar to what I said, where you have candidates out there, and there's somebody's out there. There's diamonds in the rough, right? But right now, there's not one person that's outstanding and outshining, or someone's like, that's going to be the next guy. Nobody's rushing out to get him because they don't need him right now, right? So I guess when we start looking, we'll find somebody. But you do make good points too with the Bill Belichick stuff. It's like it seems like they have success there in New England, but when they step away, don't seem to be stepping away with the referees, huh? They don't get the same kind of treatment, do they? So really interesting. David, I know you wanted to say something.
So, we were talking about the flag that didn't get thrown.
Yeah.
Now, that if he would have, F that timeout, Kyle. F that timeout. Throw the flag. Take the chance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That changed the dynamic of the whole game because Philadelphia went on to score, and that was a fourth down play.
Yes.
We would have took the ball over. At the spot. Well, not at the spot of the play, but where the ball was. We would have took it over.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the entire dynamic of the game is different.
Right,
all it takes is one thing. Right.
It wasn't the timeout. It was you only get 2 challenges, and for some reason, if you win the first one, you don't get another one back.
No, that's not true. If you win your first challenge and your second one, you have a third one.
Right, but it should be 1 for 1.
They should give you 3 challenges regardless. It shouldn't be if you win your first one, you don't get a third one. It shouldn't be like that. If you throw a challenge flag, I got 3. If I use them, I got 3. If I don't use them. But
yeah, so if you get 2 right, you get 1 back. It should be 2 for 2.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Still, the timeout, the challenge, it don't matter. We would have had 1 left.
Yep.
And Kyle, the Eagles were rushing up to the line. He was signaling, dude. They're not doing that for no reason, Kyle.
No.
Everyone says he's a pretty smart guy, but he missed that. But now I'm willing to bet that he learned his lesson, and something like that happens in the future. We're going to see that red flag fly.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like, that changes the dynamic of the whole game. But that play Brock Purdy got hurt on, it might not have even been called. None of us know this because the game happened how the game happened. So, when it comes down to it, I truly think Jed York is content with Kyle and being competitive. And that's, he needs to light a fire under that guy's tail and tell him Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say.
Not the best you can do better. Let's win. Selling jerseys and selling tickets in the stands. That's great, but we want some Lombardis. I think that's. Let me give it to Corey, and then I want to say something. But go ahead, Corey. What's your thoughts on the flag that never got thrown, the challenge that never happened?
I said it. It should have been the defensive coordinator should have ran up to Kyle. If Kyle's over there looking at his book and not paying attention to what's going on out there on the field, it should have been the defensive coach saying that. And it should have been the referees. The referees should have said, why is the Eagles rushing up? Something there.
Mm-hmm.
Something's not right. Let's stop it ourselves. Let's stop this ourselves and look at that play. Too. So it's a lot of faults, not just Kyle faults. Some of the NFL, because they know to stop plays when something looks like it's not there, and they know, hey, wait a minute, let's stop this. Let's go back and look at this. So, because I was like, man, because at the time I thought it was a catch until after they showed the instant replay. But they didn't show the instant replay until after the Eagles scored, and then they show it. See why that wasn't shown then.
They showed the angle where it looked like he caught it, and then the Eagles snapped the ball, and then right after that they showed, it was almost like after 2 plays afterwards or something. Then they showed he dropped the ball, and we were like, whoa. The announcers are saying it, and it was just, oh my gosh. I think they hyped it because it was Eagles. The refs didn't want to overturn that crowd. Maybe Philadelphia's fans won that game for them. I don't know. I do know, I do know if they would have got the ball, it would have been 4th down. The Niners would have had the ball in field goal range. They would have at least got 3 points in that, at that position. Even if Brock Purdy would have got still hurt, they would have still got 3 points. We went 7-7, and the Eagles, they got afraid. They got scared when we scored a touchdown. That whole stadium quieted down. And then they went 14, and we were going to score another touchdown and tie it up. And that's when our 4th string, 5th string quarterback, universal guy, right, Josh Johnson, fumbled. And we were still in contention to win that game. So I hope Kyle learned something and not just run the ball in the 4th quarter. I hope he learned something. I really do, because this is what New England now. This is Kansas City, and now we've done it again, and we don't. I don't know. I mean, sooner or later, you either keep making mistakes or you learn from them, right?
Yep.
Well, everybody, it was 31-7 was the fun, or something like that, right? I mean, the George Kittle Super Bowl offensive pass interference for the touchdown. I mean, that was a big play to me. And yeah, the Eagles game could have changed the momentum, but it's not like we lost by 7,
Well, we lost. That'd be because we didn't have no quarterback.
Yeah.
We didn't have no quarterback. If you don't have no quarterback back there throwing the ball, you just can only run the ball. You put your defense, you put your offense, can't do nothing. Receivers only can block. They can't go off of passes because your quarterback can't throw over 5 yards.
They asked Brock Purdy, can you throw the ball left-handed? I mean, come on. Can you throw it left-handed? I'm a right-handed guy. You don't want me out there trying to throw left-handed. I mean,
he started to this offseason. He started to.
Yeah. He's going to be ready this year, huh?
Just funny because I made the joke. Yeah, I heard Purdy started left-handed, and then all of a sudden he is.
You can't. If your offense can't score, your defense gonna be getting tired of being out there. You keep going forward and out, your defense gonna get tired, and they not gonna be able to stop the other team. They on the field too many times. So
who do you guys think is a bigger loss, Emmanuel Mosley? Or I know I've asked in the chat, but I don't know if anybody's said it. Emmanuel Mosley or Jimmy Ward? Who's the bigger loss there?
I think Emmanuel Mosley.
Yeah, I think so too. Jimmy Ward, he's great when he's on the field, but he gets hurt, and when he's hurt, then we usually get somebody else who steps in, and they don't always do the same. And then when they start playing better, we bring Jimmy Ward back in. It just seems like we take a step back again. Not that he's not a good player, just I think we can replace him easily because we've been doing it for multiple years. We've gotten used to replacing him. So used to call him Hospital Ward.
Because Ward did play 3 positions, though. He played special teams, safety, and nickel. But I would still say Jimmy Ward because I think we can replace the nickel easier than we can replace a cornerback, since we always have to seem to be the last few years.
Well, guys, what do you think the Texans' record's going to be with D'Amico and Jimmy Ward over there?
Oh, let me add to that. Who's going to have the better record, the Texans or the Panthers?
Oh, wow. I think the Texans will.
I don't know.
David McNair, what do you think? Would you take the Texans or are you taking Sir Purr?
Who?
Sir Purr, the Carolina Panthers mascot. Or are you taking the Texans?
I think I'd take the Texan.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the Texans are going to be really, really, really good this year. I think they are going to have a backbone. They've already had a backbone, but I think it's just going to come together. I think their team's going to really, really lock in. I think they'll finish like 8-9. I think they're going to have a good season, and then maybe next year be able to contend for the playoffs. Mr. John, what do you think? Are you taking the Texans or are you taking Sir Purr and the Panthers?
The Texans or the Panthers?
Yep.
I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to say the Texans. I still think the Panthers are in a rebuild mode. I'm not saying that the Texans are going to go from worst to first. I think they need a couple of years. I think with the Miko and the way, the direction they're going to be moving to, I do think that they'll be a good team down the road. The Panthers, I saw this when they got the new owner, that they were going to go downhill, and I don't know what that owner over there is trying to do, because now this is his fifth quarterback in 4 years. So I'm not sure what he's trying to do over there. So I'm more confident on the Texans.
What about you, Steve-O? Are you a Texan guy or are you a Carolina Panther guy?
That's why I thought of this question the other day. And I had a really good draft. I'm going to say they both have the same record. I'm rooting for both.
All right. Well, guys, I think it's probably a good time to jump out. And we've had a really good show, good panel, good conversations. If you guys have anything left, then let's go ahead and hear it now. And then we'll go around real quick to everybody where we can find each other. And, John, I see your comment. So let's start with you real quick. What do you got going on?
Let's see. I had to move my live stream I was supposed to do today till tomorrow because, again, I woke up late. I rarely wake up late. But tomorrow I got me a live stream on my channel. I'm going to talk Niners football with the faithful. Going to think about, what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be just doing a live stream. I heard Corey's doing a makeup show. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss that if there's a hangout because I have an obligation tonight on another channel. Shout out to Rob. He's a Philadelphia dude. He's a good dude, nice guy. And he's been asking me to do a show with them. So I'm going to be working with them in the upcoming season and a few other great dudes. So tonight I'm going to be over there with those guys. They do really good work.
So is this a part of like that Bird Gang network? Are you now a Bird Gang?
No, it's all me. It's John Jay's, stuff. I've been trying to branch out because like I do have other hobbies and other things. I don't want to mix my Niner channel, with other stuff. So I'm doing another channel for more hangouts, more fun stuff, talk about other stuff as well. And of course, like people have been asking me, I got to collaborate with you. I said, I know, but you guys are other teams, and I don't want to do that collaboration and Bird Gang and all that. So those are good dudes, but I want to do something more fun because there's a lot of things I also love to talk about, like baseball, basketball, and I don't want to talk other sports on these 49er channels because they're 49ers. So I'm going to be working with them. They're going to be helping me out, and then down the road, I'm going to be doing something fun. And so I'll be missing a lot of Niner shows because I'll be also working with them plus my channel. So I'm going to be like busy in September. So you guys won't see me for a while. And it's not that I don't like you. It's just that I've been trying to do this for 2 years. This is what why I did YouTube. Wasn't trying to be anybody else, but that's what I'm doing tonight. It'll be fun.
Cool. That is cool. Yeah, any time you can get out and expand and get other people to hear you, you might get new supporters. It's just a totally different vibe. Sort of like what happened today. We got Twin on and we got Pterodome on. They could talk a little bit, get other thoughts and opinions. Mr. McNair, what you got going on? I know you said some yard work possibly, and I'll probably see you later tonight on Corey's show, right?
Yeah, more than likely. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I got some yard work to do. Just normal grocery shopping. Just normal stuff for a Saturday. Nothing incredibly going on. We got the coffee talk tomorrow morning. And then Monday night. Who do we got? Who do we got Monday night there, Bryant?
Oh, this Monday is going to be a lot of fun. He might not be in the chat anymore, but if you guys know, he's a great guy. His name's Ty Austin. He's going to be coming on. We're going to be talking a little bit of 49ers 5:30 Monday. So hope to see you guys pop in and get to hear his aspects on how he became a Niner and all that good stuff. He's got a couple channels too. He's on a couple panels and he's all over. Yeah, he's everywhere. Ty's awesome. So, Steve-O, are we going to be able to possibly see you tonight on Corey's show? Or are you going to be able to come in?
What time is it?
7 o'clock.
Most likely. Had a long weekend. I only had to work 16 hours to get paid for 40, so that's cool. But it's just cool. Like you had Twin and Pterodome on. It's like dude came prepared. He had cue cards he didn't even get to. I have to rewatch it because I was thinking. I know sometimes it's 9, sometimes it's 10, and so I'm gonna have to rewatch that. But who comes a thing with cue cards? You know what I mean? I mean that's pretty cool preparation. So there might need to be a part 2. But as Kid Rock was, I know I changed my name. And I kept my dog picture for 2 weeks. Some people didn't catch on. So, as Kid Rock would say, ball with the ball, bang, bang, diggy, diggy, said the boogie set up, Chuck, something like that.
I'm going to pop Carcast in real quick so we can say our goodbyes and hellos to him, and then we're going to get out of here. Corey, I think we've said what you have going on, but go ahead and tell everybody why I bring Carcast in.
So, tonight I had to make a 49ers quiz show at 7. Then tomorrow with Brian Cup in the morning. And then the reward show. See who went 15-0. There's 2 people that went 15-0.
Oh boy, this is gonna be exciting.
And the rest of us went 14-1, and somebody else went 13-2. So we'll see.
Hey, Steve-O, if you can make the show tonight, it's gonna be you and Jeff doing the trivia. I think you got a good chance of making 15-0. I think
it was getting so easy that I started guessing wrong answers, and I was like, we need to switch books. But then some of them, and then I had to go. So I don't know how it ended, but yeah, it was at first it was like, you know what I mean? Like,
you mustn't hear my statement. I said he must be drunk. Like,
oh no, it was just it was like you didn't. These are like no brainers, and I don't have a brain, so I was just like, we switched books. But then a couple of them were a little bit difficult, and then I had to go. So, well, yeah, be a drunk. That's part of the game when you got a 5-day weekend. So, living up to my name.
All right, Carcast, we brought you in real quick to say, hey, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for coming. How you doing?
Appreciate you, Brian, for having me on. Stream's always great. Good guest today, the dynamic duo. You got Terror Dome and the Twin Empire. Both great guests, so, that was great. Them having a nice conversation about the quarterbacks, Trey, how the Niners are going to do, this was a great stream, man. I just want to hop in, say what's up.
Oh, man, I appreciate you coming. We'll have to do this a little bit more again. I need to figure out what's best to get a hold of you, if it's Instagram or if it's, Twitter, but we definitely appreciate you coming on. Today was a little earlier show because the guys back east, they needed to get on a little earlier, and appreciate everybody. But with that, guys, it's a Saturday. Go outside, enjoy yourself, have some fun. I'm going to get this little one, maybe, rough her up a little bit, maybe go and might go to the park. We'll see what happens. But with that, guys, let's go ahead and get out. Appreciate you. Say hi. Say hi and goodbye.
Hi.
All right. And with that, everybody, thanks for coming. Please check us out. We have Corey Davis. He's got a great channel. David McNair, my co-host. He's a great guy. He's got a channel as well. We're building his platform. Steve-O's everywhere. You can find him everywhere as well. One day we'll have a channel for him as well. John, 49ers Ultimate Report. Great guy. You guys check him out. He's doing a lot of good things. He just said as well. And Carcast, young up and coming guy, knows his stuff, has a great channel, good vibes. So please check all of this out, and appreciate you. And I'll be seeing you guys in the comments. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get out, and I'll see you tonight too on Corey's show. So thank you guys for coming.
See you, everyone.